So finally in the news tonight, we're going to close the show with some sad news. Lee Kerslake of Ozzy Osbourne, drummer of Ozzy Osbourne and Uriah Heep, 73 years old, passed away of cancer.
I heard about that. That's terrible.
Yeah, so we want to give condolences to the family and friends and fans of Lee Kerslake. Rest in peace. And that's it. I mean, let's of course thank everyone for a good show. And we of course want you to wash your hands, wear masks, be safe. We love and appreciate our audience.
We love all of you.
Yeah, and let's thank our subscribers, our channel members. Our closing credits. Let's see. Thank you, Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael, the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Boland, Richard Poole, Lindy Lou Ann, Mary, Crazy Cook 678, Bozique, Julio Baldessari, False Flag, Margaret Scranton, Sean Silas, Garguts Entertainment, and of course, Halface, James Gunn, Mancuda is a dildo fucker, 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., is that Bruce? Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Gosi BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Jesus Rapes Me, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
So thank everybody. Again, we love you and join us next week. But hope you guys had fun tonight.
Yeah, that was a great show, man.
That was a good show.
It went by kind of quick.
A lot of content. This was like the show, almost like having sex with me. If some people have said, I wonder what it's like having sex with Mancuda. Over like that. And too many thumbs down.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
So thank you guys. And again, rock on. We love you. We appreciate you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
It's like the movie. It's like the movie Seven, where the whole show goes backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the ending comes on first, and then the show goes on backwards.
We could actually do that if we pre-recorded it, or if we just took one of these live shows and just I'd reverse the video and then do it as a premiere, and it would just all be backwards.
And we'll do like secret messages in there. Like, in the 60s, they had like Beatles records where you'd, put the record on, you'd turn it backwards and be like, Paul is dead. Paul is dead. Paul is dead. and that's it. It's like, but it'll be Neanderthal. Neanderthal is dead. Neanderthal is dead. Neanderthal is dead. And we'll have a Sergeant Pecker's Lonely Farts Club Band album, and you'll look at like all these hidden messages in the title.
That'd be crazy.
It'll be a good time.
Man, well, hey, welcome everybody. It's 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:23 Pacific, September 22nd, 2020. Welcome to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. We're live.
We do apologize for running late, and Paulie's also running late, so please forgive us, everybody.
Yeah, that's why we started with the ending.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to seem like you guys were late. You missed the whole effing show. That was it.
Did anybody in the chat think that like you guys missed the entire thing? I would have believed that. That was believable. That was believable to me. But yeah, we're live on Periscope tonight. We're not gonna be live on Facebook until I can figure out what's going on over there. Something's weird over on Facebook. But we're live on YouTube, of course, and that's where you can become a channel member. You can become a sponsor of the channel of these videos. And the top tier is Charles Christian. We got to start over again.
Who?
We got to start over again.
You're blowing this? We're going to have like 50 thumbs down by the end of the show.
Oh, all right. Charles Green.
Joe Christian. Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Lab. Hey, these people pay big money for this. The big bucks, the big bosses, the executive producers, Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Mike Neese, Michael the Captain Smith, Dave Ennis, and holy crap, Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael. Yes. What else? This Thursday, Jay Hannon and I were scheduled to appear on the StreamYard Spotlight Show this Thursday, September 24th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And basically we'll just explain how we use StreamYard, what we do. And who's this? Hey
there. You missed it, man. They were throwing bottles and tomatoes at us. They had pitchforks and torches. You're late. We're laying you thumbs down. We'll burn your house down, Mancuda. Beane, we're going to slaughter all your chickens and hang them from pipe.
Oh my gosh.
You got what you paid for, blues man. Ain't nothing ever as good as you want it to be. There you go. My first words to the night are quoting from Crossroads, the greatest cinematic masterpiece ever filmed.
That's a great one, man. It made Macchio's career. Forget this Karate Kid thing.
Jack Butler gonna like you.
Jack in my butt, and I'm gonna like it.
And there we go.
And we're off. We're off to the races with a resounding.
I'm glad I got here in time for the Jack in my butt comment. I thought, well, I'm going to be late. It's late. I can't be late. It can't be late.
Yeah, with a resounding pile of thumbs down and we hate you, Mancuda. We hate you all. Death to you.
Shut up. Do your own show. So I didn't miss anything is what you're saying.
No, it's the normal lynch mob we're encountering. Right. So that's all right. We love our fans. They don't love us, but we love them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a one-way relationship. Please, God, please love me. Won't you please love me? Look, I'm cute.
We just want your acceptance is all. I figure if my parents don't love me, maybe the audience would, but
yeah. Well, you and I both know if nobody loves you, there's always self-love.
Yeah, which I do every night before and during bed and in the shower and
sometimes during the show. Why do you think I'm late? And smiling.
Hey, this is Bob. Remember that commercial?
Yeah, I love those commercials. Bob's wife makes him happy.
Yeah, Bob has discovered Viagra.
Remember that when Viagra was a scary commercial? Now it's like, you could get TSS if you put this in your mouth. What? Wait, what the fuck?
The department store? Times Square stores?
What?
The whole thing?
I notice you're drinking a Bang energy drink. Which flavor is it this week? Yak urine?
They only have like 72 flavors, right?
I know.
Yeah, this one is Bang Bung water.
Bong water. Yes.
Bong water. I'm sorry, Bong water.
Yeah, bung water is the way to go. Speaking of our friend Ron Jeremy.
Yeah. We trickle it down the finest anus cracks. And
yeah. Well, it's like those. I always wondered, do you know why herpes still exists in 2020? Ice luge. Ice luge. That's still a fucking thing.
What is it?
Ice luge. You remember the thing that was made out of ice that they would dump alcohol on one end and it would go down the ice? And chicks would fucking deep throat the other end of the ice luge to get the shot.
Yeah, and suddenly at the end of the night, like 17 people walking out with cold sores. It's like
they all it's like the cold sore joke in Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. I was just thinking.
Which, by the way, fun fact, an early appearance of one Miss Joyce Heiser, who we remember from Just One of the Guys and the scene where she throws her tits out at the end of the movie.
I do love scenes that throw tits out.
Well, Joyce Heiser is your random tits of the week from a movie that was shot here in Phoenix, actually specifically Tempe, at a place called Big Surf. Because when I think surfing, I think Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? It's like, character actors, it's like, oh, I remember him from that movie. He did a little bit. Weren't you the background guy in that movie? And guys like that. But then you have like those random tit girls like her. And it's like, so wait, what movies were you in?
Right.
Oh, yeah. You were in Euro Trip, the hot tub scene, and you were didn't you get out of the pool at Fast Times behind Phoebe? And yeah. Hard Bodies. Yeah.
One name is all you need to hear, and you know exactly the scene. I'll say it, and you'll know the scene. Erica Eleniak.
Is that the Phoebe Cates character?
Erica Eleniak is an actress who came out of The Cake in that fucking stupid Steven Seagal movie where he's just the cook. You know the one where he's on the ship and he beats the shit out of everybody, and his big line in the movie is, "I'm just the cook."
Isn't that great? Where
I never saw it.
You never see anything.
Who gives a shit, Johnny? In this situation, you're not missing anything. Just Google Erica Eleniak cake, and that's all you need to see. That 8 seconds of the movie is the only thing worth watching in it.
Actually, Johnny, Paulie and I could do in a couple of seconds the whole movie. We're taking over the ship.
No, you're not. I'm just the cook. And end of the movie. Yes, perfect. Yes.
How was that?
And I think it was still at that point in American history where Russians were bad guys.
Yeah, can't remember that time anymore.
Yeah, but Under Siege was the movie. But a perfect example. The chat knew exactly what as soon as I said Erica Eleniak, everybody was like, I remember that. Of course. Now name another Erica Eleniak movie. The Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, she was Daisy May?
She was Ellie Mae. Yeah, Ellie Mae Clampett. Ellie Mae Clampett to Diedrich Bader's brilliant performance of Jethro.
Clamping on my crotch.
Diedrich Bader is a fucking American treasure and should be feted as such. I mean, you've got Diedrich. He was the guy that was the searcher that I was telling you about, that show, that Penelope Spheres show, Danger Theater. He was also Lawrence in Office Space.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader is a fucking gem. That guy is a comedic genius and deserves to be. He's going to be one of those character actors that everybody says for the rest of their lives, oh, I know that guy, but nobody's ever going to be able to name him.
And by the way, we're skipping the roll call today just so we could catch up to the rest of the show. So maybe by the end of the show, someone will reverse their thumbs down. So we'll have the normal 6 or 7 that we usually have every week.
Yeah, we started the show with like 19 thumbs downs or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's almost
coming back?
It's almost like they had a board meeting at Bang Energy Drink and said, "We've got to do something about this show. Everybody, get on your laptops now."
Wow. You mean it sounds like it sounds like there's been an organized boycott. We understand that the genesis of the boycott is Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, we're really screwed. Juan Lanzavecchia.
Nice job.
Lanzavecchia. That's some great name, man. And it's in bold, so I had to read that one.
Was Diedrich Bader in Napoleon Dynamite too?
Says he was. Says he was.
I'm not a huge Napoleon Dynamite fan. I'm not on board with that project. I know everybody loved it and everybody thinks it's great.
Holy shit. Brendan Butchick says he has over 213 screen credits.
Yeah, no, he's a character actor that's been everywhere. He's really good. He's really good. And
speaking of really good character actors, did you notice the tribute to Wilford Brimley at the Emmys this year?
I did not, because I did not watch the Emmys.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
Well, I expect Johnny not to watch it, but I could say, "Hey, Johnny, there's an eclipse and the moon is actually crashing into Earth's atmosphere." I'm not gonna watch that. I got to tuck in the chickens. I gotta pet Ned. I can't do that.
I just remember the one thing I saw from the Emmys was, and the award for best neckwear in a dramatic series, it's a tie.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Did that really? I'm not sure that deserved an ISO and 15 more thumbs down for that.
Well, there's 80 in the chat right now, or 80 something in the chat. So I'm expecting 80 something thumbs down by the next 5 minutes, probably.
See, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm on the other side of that. I don't give a shit. Give us all the thumbs down you want. See, I'm one of those guys that my senior year of high school, my football team, as I'm a senior, trying to get the attention of colleges all around the country so that I can go play college football and then maybe get into the USFL. That's how old I am. We went 0-10. That's no wins, 10 losses. And I'm proud of that, because 1-9 means nothing. You are either undefeated or winless. Everything else in the middle sucks. You are either Charles Manson or Abe Lincoln. Nobody else matters. You've got to make a fucking mark. So thumbs down, bang that thumbs down all you want tonight.
Keep going.
Thumbs down. Go ahead.
Keep going.
By the way,
I'm going to thumbs down right now.
By the way,
there's 21 thumbs down.
I'll switch mine over. 22.
You're laughing at Charles Manson, but you know what? He was really trending this year with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Right.
Better than Lincoln did in his movies. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Listen, I always strive to make the show the worst it can possibly be for our audience.
Well, I'm here to help this week.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to have
you. Supported by my tag team partner, the Green Bastard from Parts Unknown.
Yeah, Green Bastard.
You don't know who the Green Bastard is, do you?
I don't.
It's a Trailer Park Boys reference.
I've watched the Trailer Park Boys, but probably not enough.
Yeah, it's Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. He's a big wrestling fan, so he dresses up with a mask. He puts a mask on, but you still see the glasses sticking through the mask. And it says Jeep. It says Jeep. I have a Green Bastard patch somewhere. Somebody sent me because they knew I was a Trailer Park Boys fan.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Mike Neese says Ron Jeremy couldn't make it tonight to accept the award, so Pee Wee Herman is in here to stand in for him.
Nice. Who would have thought that Pee Wee Herman was the lesser scumbag of the two?
I don't know, man. I just want to know like who his cellmate is going to be, Ron. That's going to be really funny. Could you imagine like all day you're just looking, it's like, damn, man, that's some cock.
Who knows? Maybe he'll be lucky and he'll get put into jail with the Potter twins. Here's your Google alert for today. Potter twin.
Potter twin powers masturbate.
Oh. Ron Jeremy and the Potter twins. It's a clip. You'll find it. The Potter twins are these two girls from Texas, one of whom was a promotions assistant for a radio station. That's how I know who they are. And then I found out they did porn.
Whoopsie. Can we have an extra meeting in the boardroom? Just the three of us.
Yeah, Bubbles. Bubbles, unfortunately, is also a scumbag. The guy that plays the Green Bastard. Apparently, he's a sexist asshole on the set of Trailer Park Boys. But he's actually apparently he's a fairly accomplished musician. And if you've ever watched the show, there's a running joke about how Rush is the greatest band of all time. He actually shows up. If you go to Rush shows, you'll see him on the intro video of Rush, the big glasses and stuff like that. He's a big fan. He's actually come out on stage and like opened for Rush and shit like that in different places in Canada.
I think I remember seeing something like that on the internet.
They did a cover. There was like a Rush cover.
Is that what it was?
Video.
Yeah,
on that
maybe,
show.
Maybe that's what I'm. That's what.
And Sebastian Bach has been on the show. It's an interesting show. It started out as sort of a cult favorite out of Canada, and it showed up. It was making its way down through streaming services and DVDs and shit. And then it got popular. It got canceled, like Family Guy. It got canceled and then brought back. Well, what happened was the cast of the show ended up buying the ownership rights to the show, brought it back, and fucked it all up. Because you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. It worked because it was cool and it was sort of lowbrow and low production. And then when they brought it back, people like Snoop Dogg and Mark Cuban decided they wanted to do cameos and shit on it. But when they originally did it, it was like Sebastian Bach and Alex Lifeson was on it. A couple of hockey players would show up on it. It was kind of a cool, under the radar thing.
It's almost like the old 60s Batman TV show that, like, when they're climbing the rope and the citizen pops out the window. Oh, hey, Batman. Sammy Davis Jr., what are you doing here?
That's when it's the shark has been jumped.
Yeah. It's like everyone's like calling their agent. I got to get on the Batman TV show. Yes, Mr. Rickles, we'll get you right on. Yeah. Oh, hey, Batman and Robin. What are you doing out my window? Go back inside. Citizen the Joker's afoot. It's like, love that.
Yeah,
The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Everyone wanted to be a voice on The Simpsons. Remember?
Well, do you remember the show, which I actually thought was pretty good, 6 Feet Under, where they were morticians?
I never could get into it. I watched one episode. I was like, ugh.
What happened was eventually people would be like on Frasier. They
want to be the body, right?
They wanted to be the body that got killed at the beginning of the show. It became sort of a thing. Or being a caller on Frasier. Remember, one of the jokes would be you had to try and figure out who the voice was on the other end of the phone when you were watching Frasier.
Yeah. Did you see the one where Eddie Van Halen was the voice?
No, but see, there you go. I got your attention. Suddenly,
I'm here.
Suddenly Johnny saw something. Wait.
Hey, Jay. Good to see you, Jay. Yeah, Quentin, we're going for a record of thumbs downs tonight.
Yes,
everybody that's our goal. So
hate the show all you want. Right now, the score is 35-26. Thumbs up to thumbs down. We're in the third quarter here. Do you have any fake crowd noise we can pipe into the game?
No.
All right, cool.
That deserves a thumbs down.
I tried. Thumbs down.
By the way, I took up. If you guys want to do something relaxing, I took up origami.
Oh, nice. Yes, because when I look at you, I think Japanese paper art.
Yeah, well, you'll laugh, but there's something to it, and it's like you made snowflakes in school as a kid, and you'd cut it a certain way and fold it a certain way, and it would just be like, oh yeah, that's a snowflake, yeah. Well, I've gotten pretty good at it, and I just wanna.
By the way, I would like to point out my new favorite chat name, Les Mancuda.
Yeah, that's not new. That's not new. Les Mancuda came on a couple of weeks ago.
Damn it.
Hello, Les Mancuda. Oh, we can't do roll call today.
I love Les Mancuda. That's funny.
Everyone would. We'd get like 100 thumbs up immediately if there was Les Mancuda.
By the way, I want to thank my friend Dane this week for hooking me up with not one, but 2 Les Pauls for less than the price of one new one.
Ah, so less for less.
Less for less, yeah.
Are you talking about those ones?
Yeah, I traded for both of them.
Oh man, Saturday was a great show, man.
Yeah,
Saturday was a lot of fun.
I got the classic out of him, and then he sort of talked me into the standard, because it was a 1994, and I'm weird like that. 1994 is the 100th anniversary of Gibson, and it wasn't an anniversary model, but it's an anniversary year, and it's like sort of a weird super. I like to collect weird guitars like that, kind of like John likes the kind of guitars he likes. if something like that catches my attention, I want it. So we were able to swing a deal. I ended up getting rid of my Charvel Pro Mod 24 because it was basically the Charvel Pro Mod 24 is essentially Charvel's version of the Gem, and I have a Gem. So I was like, all right, well, I'll give this up in some cash. And then I gave up one of my old, I had a 1997 Epiphone, the red one that I've shown on Saturday night, that it was just a really good playing Epiphone, but he has an easier time selling those than he does selling a premium Gibson because that's just the clientele of his shop. So I ended up giving him that Epiphone and some more money and ended up with 2 Les Pauls this week for less than the price of one.
And how can you go wrong there?
Couple of guitars and a couple of dollars and that's how when people go, well, how do you end up with a big guitar collection like John? There are 2 ways to do it. You
theft.
You steal your way into it, or it's like my buddy. My buddy runs a secondhand record store, and he says this shop is predicated upon 2 things: the 2 Ds, death and desperation.
Is that what the 2 Ds are?
Yeah, double Ds. You love double Ds.
Double Ds, double Ds.
Death and desperation. If you find somebody that, especially now with the economy going in the shitter, a lot of people selling off their guitars because they need the money. That's when somebody like me swoops in and says, yeah, I know the guitar is worth $1,500, but I'll give you 6. And that's kind of how that works.
It's funny because I've been working the glory hole so many extra hours lately to make extra money.
Well, that's a great thing about you, John. You're a giver. You're willing to put out when it's necessary.
Well, no, I'm a workaholic.
Oh, so when you mention work, you start drinking?
No, I take up origami. And look, I'm almost done. This is going to be beautiful.
I knew you were. I love that you're using the little bonsai tree scissors like Daniel-san would use.
Daniel-san. Yeah, and look. Hold on. This is beautiful.
Great.
This is really nice. It is.
Yeah, look, I bet it is.
Go. Hold on. There. And there. And there.
The key to the origami is the details.
There we go. Look at that. How beautiful is that?
Wow, that is nice.
Oh,
is that a penis or is that his nose? Or is it both? Why can't it be both?
Oh, geez, it came out a little awkward.
Oh my gosh.
I guess it came out a little awkward. Oh no, it's going down. Oh, now it's floppy.
There's part of me that thinks that's a little anti-Semitic.
Why? Because it's not circumcised? Well, it is circumcised right there. There you go.
I guess. Caleb is the circumcised.
There you go. See?
Happy birthday, Caleb Rappaport from your internet moil.
Hey, I think that came out really nice, right? Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. That's that's what happens when you pay attention to detail.
It really is.
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Caleb.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Caleb's not even watching, is he?
No.
He left the thumbs down and he took off. But
most people don't watch anymore. That's something I'm learning.
All right, the game is tied. 36-36.
That's all you get.
Oh, 36-35. Who took their fucking thumbs down away? You are banished from the show.
Dear Caleb.
We're back. That was awful.
Hey, you only get to a birthday once a year.
I wish they would stop.
What birthdays?
Just they can.
Yeah.
Just
I can help you. I can help you with that.
Cut it, lengthwise.
Well,
Let me talk to my mortician, Smith and Wesson. We'll help you out.
Yeah, just Jesus. Of course you could stop. There's a lot of stuff you could do to stop it. You don't have to have another birthday. Hey, you want to save me money? My grandmother had a saying. Oh, you come and we celebrate your birthday, you do me a favor. You drop dead, no birthday, you do me 2 favors. She was a wise woman.
Think of all the money your wife's going to make in rent when she rents out the other half of the house to somebody else. You can help her better herself in 2 ways.
Hey, this is great. This is great. Look in the chat. Mancuda's a dildo fucker is in the chat. And look at his photo.
Oh, I don't see it. Hang on.
Yeah, you gotta look at that.
Where is it on which chat? On the
It's the only pink dildo in the chat.
Oh, I didn't see it. Well, I'm looking in the chat. I'm trying to find. I'm scrolling. I don't see Mancuta's a dildo fuck.
Yeah. He's in there. It's a big pink dildo. How do you miss that?
I can't see it.
Well, move it closer to your mouth and maybe you'll get a better look.
Oh, that's not nice.
Hey, speaking of dildo fuckers, let's talk about a lovely story in the news. This is a great one. Rob Halford has a new book coming out on September 29th, next Tuesday. It releases, and it's called Confess. Rob Halford, the great singer of Judas Priest. And one of the quotes that's most talked about in the news today, apparently, is apparently sometime in the late 80s, he was arrested cruising Venice Beach in the toilets. You know, he was arrested, and he's like, oh my God, this is gonna be terrible for my career. And the cops that busted him, you know, he's there were Judas Priest fans.
Yeah.
So it probably went something like this. So do you boys fancy getting your cock sucked? Excuse me? I said, do you boys fancy getting your cock sucked? Under arrest, police, vice. Turn around. Let's see some ID. Rob Halford? Rob Halford? Judas Priest? Yeah, you're Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Right. Don't let this get in the news. All right, I guess we could let this slide. Oh, so you boys still want to do it then? No. We're just not going to tell the media. We're just not going to. You don't want your penis sucked then? No. Stop. No. We just won't tell the media. So apparently, I don't know if he was charged or not, but they didn't tell the news because they were big Judas Priest fans, the undercover cops, and they let it go. I don't know if they let him go or they just squashed, it in the media. But
let him go is probably not the right choice of words there.
Yeah. So are you going to let me release? No, we're not going to let you release. Are you going to release me? Then let me release. No, stop it, Rob. So apparently they squashed it in the media, so they didn't tell any media, and he was able to come out on his own in 1998 on MTV, which worked out better. And he feels basically that if it got out, that he was basically doing what George Michael got arrested doing, looking for cock in the bathrooms and whatnot, where it made a big media splash. He felt his career would, possibly be over, with some level of understanding, from certain fans. He figured a percentage of fans would be like, all right, I don't care what you do, but the other part would be like, it's just the wrong time because the 80s, it was big, anti-gay sentiment with all AIDS and everything. And, there was a lot of prejudice back then. By 1998, the world had kind of grown a bit, and now he was able to come out on his own. But he's really grateful that at that time, the cops let him slide. It in? No, Rob, stop.
Yeah, and he's not kidding either. Yeah, he says
no. That actually happened.
This is not a shit. I mean, I'm making a joke of it, but this really happened. This really happened. This is a big deal.
There are two things that come out of the book so far. One was that happened. Right?
There were two things that come out on the book. Oh wait,
now
on the book.
I will never ever say anything bad about Rob Halford. I love Rob Halford in every way. Just the coolest guy ever. Just couldn't be a kinder soul, as you know. Was it last week or a couple of weeks ago?
We were talking about him.
We were talking about him hanging out. It couldn't be a nicer guy. He and his partner Tom are the fucking coolest people. And anybody that has a problem with Rob Halford, you can thumbs down the show. Legitimately, go fuck yourself.
I don't think anyone has a problem with Rob Halford.
No,
come on, he's Judas Priest.
He and not just that. Even if he weren't in Judas Priest, once you've met Rob Halford, you realize what a fucking superhuman being he is. Just a good dude.
It's probably the wrong photo to show of him, Johnny.
Yeah, probably not the best. Yeah.
Grab a different one.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right. But the other story that's come out of that book so far is that he almost made the mistake of hitting on Paul Di'Anno, which I don't know would have gone as well as the police incident, because I think Paul Di'Anno is kind of a blockhead, and may not have taken Rob's advances
too nicely.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't take it.
Someone else might have.
Yeah, I mean, he at that point, you remember that was the Judas Priest Iron Maiden tour early. This was early on. This is like what, Point of Entry, maybe?
That's probably the wrong title.
Yeah, probably the wrong title for that one. You know, it's funny now that you go back at some of the listen to some of the Judas Priest songs, you're like, oh,
I've got another guy coming. Yeah, it's coming now.
If you notice, here's a fun little exercise. Go back and listen to all the Judas Priest songs and realize that they were gender neutral. It was never she. It was always we, us, you, me. It was never she. They never spoke it from a gender specific point of view. When you go back, you go, oh shit, how did we not know this? But in that tour, I guess Di'Anno and Halford are hanging out in a hotel room, and Halford's either on the gack or he was a bigger drinker than he was a drug guy. But he was completely fucked up and thought, I'm going to take a shot at this. And then I guess got scared because, you know, I mean, let's face it. It's hard enough trying to ask a girl out that you've never met. Imagine being a gay guy in the early 80s.
This is when he was still closeted. So
yeah, he was still way in the closet. I mean, really sort of, I mean, this was 1981. I mean, this is way before anybody would have ever thought of that. So imagine he hits on Paul Di'Anno. Paul Di'Anno cranks him one across the face and then outs him.
Yeah, and that would be bad.
That would have been in 1981. That would have been awful for Judas Priest. That would have been none of what Judas Priest is now would be the same. They'd still be great. They'd still be a great band, but the path would have been, I think, a little bit different.
Society wasn't ready for, you know, a gay icon like Rob Halford,
right?
You know, a metal icon. You know, it was already a stigma to come out as gay back in the 80s.
Right.
And believe me, I know. I lived in Greenwich Village. I had gay friends everywhere in the entertainment business.
Right.
And again, in
it's
that world,
in 2020, we're still in that situation.
In that world,
in different places, yeah.
It was, you know, accepted in the entertainment business, the modeling business. But even then, it was very quiet and closeted, unless you were in San Francisco or Greenwich Village or something like that.
New Orleans, yeah.
Kentucky. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh wait, no. But Rob basically said, look, can we cover it up? What do you mean? You know, can I cover it? No, Rob, no, we'll just, you know, we won't say anything, Rob. Don't cover anything up. Yeah, but he lucked out. He was able to come out at the right time, that society had grown up to that, and do it on his own terms. To be outed like that in a metal band, it probably would have had some purist fans that were okay with it, and a lot of fans that were like, you know, slurring. I mean, it would have been bad. I think I agree with it.
Yeah, no, it was at the time. Kudos to the police department,
to the cops, absolutely.
Yeah, for because look, you know, his crime was cruising, regardless of who he is. But because of who he is, pay the fine. It's a misdemeanor. It doesn't need to. It happens every day in bathrooms all around America. It still happens. It's happened since day one. You know, go back to Roman times, Roman bathhouses. That's what that shit was all about. I mean, so
that was when Young Boys was also like a generally accepted thing for a Roman emperor. Speaking of Young Boys, Bang Energy drink. Delicious Bang Energy drink gives us the bang to bang. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying. I'm not saying, you know, look, it's not my thing, but you know, consenting adults involved in whatever recreational activities they want to be, get involved in. Look, I got a hand job during a Killer Dwarf show, so I don't know why it's okay for me to be
from Rob.
Not from Rob.
Oh, it's a good show, eh?
From a dwarf.
I like these guys.
It would have been great. Can you imagine?
Terrific.
You know, Rob is great as he. Hey, Paul, do you mind if I lend you a hand? Yes, I do. Fucking have at it. I don't care. Seriously, I don't care. I'm not gay, but if you're in a bar, all right, I'm just going to say this, and I guarantee almost everybody in the chat would say the same thing. If you're in a bar anywhere and you bump into Rob Halford and he says, you're like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Have at it. You know what I mean?
got to sing while doing it. You know, it's like, screaming for penis.
Men in bars at night. Rob likes. So
another guy coming. Hey, it's coming.
But he's, so that shit, good for the police department. Good for that.
That was a great thing. That was
because
really
his crime is unrelated to his lifestyle. I mean, his lifestyle is his lifestyle. It's a misdemeanor. It's a ticket. Fuck it. Pay it. Get it over with. There's no reason to ruin a person's life over shit like that. So.
Yeah, think about what George Michael went through. I remember on like one of the British newspapers, like the Mirror or the Sun or something. It was like something like "Zip me up before you go" was the headline.
Oh, Jesus.
It wasn't great.
Let's say goodbye to Jay Hannon, who's decided that being a better parent is more important than being mildly entertained by this.
And we who have no children applaud you, my friend.
Yeah, that's a good parental decision on your part.
Definitely a good decision.
By the way, I don't know why the show is 41-33, thumbs up to thumbs down. This is an absolute abomination of a show. But the idea that we have 74 responses an hour
that's
into
better
it
than normal, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. So
hey, listen, we don't care what political side of the fence you go on, as long as you vote. So that's great. Yeah. So I wonder what those cops are like telling their family at Thanksgiving. It's like,
that was me.
So how was work this week, honey? Oh, it was great. Anything exciting happened? I'm sorry, what? The gravy. Pass the gravy, please.
That's actually what was said in the bathroom that night. Pardon me, could you pass me the gravy?
Pardon me, will you have any Grey Poupon?
I'm not sure that's a thing.
Baby gravy. Yeah, so I thought that was a really fun story. By the way, Fruitcake Tony wants to know: is there a clue to tonight's show and tell guitar? Yes, the clue is this guitar will give you gas. That's the clue. That is the clue. So there you go. So we'll see that a little later on. I thought that was fun. Let's I gotta get this out of the way because this has been an incredible week with my mother. This has been a week. let me explain something to you. Usually,
way, just so you know, this week, this show every Tuesday night is saving Mancuda a ton of money in fucking therapy.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely talk therapy. He gets to vent, get this out. He doesn't have to pay somebody.
Yeah, I get to vent about my mother, and it's and no, it's not a celebrity guitar, Tony. Usually I go through the week with my mom and I'm rubbing my temples and I lose sleep and all sorts of stuff. And I'm
stressed. At least you're going to temple, John. That's a start.
Yeah, right. My blood pressure is like escalating. I'm doing the pumping thing, seeing my blood pressure, and it's like watching one of those Fred Flintstone get off work because the horn is going off with steam. Woo! Yeah, it's just unreal. But this week was different because there was just so many shenanigans of wacky insanity going on with my mother. I literally had to start taking notes. Like, oh my God, I'm not going to remember all this. And wait, and then I go and I'm running out of paper. I'm like, Mom, slow down. She's like, what are you talking about? I mean, just keep talking, Mom. So I'm going
to cut you off for just a second because I have images of that woman in the Geico commercial doing the puzzle, calling the secret agent.
That's my mom.
I totally see that. That's Mancuda. Every time I see that, I think of your mom, whom I've never met. I just think of her, Johnny. We forgot the Wi-Fi password. What is it? I could totally hear. I totally see your mother doing that.
There's Mama Cuda. There she is. That's her. And you know what? It's like she's wearing a mini skirt. Ma, what a whore you are to this week.
Oh,
no,
nice legs though.
Yeah, right. And I'll tell you,
toes, she's a mutant.
I'll tell you something. I'm fighting ninjas, and the phone rings, and where are you, Ma?
Jonathan, why do you not call your mother? Call your mother. I'm home. I'm right here all the time. Give me a call. Come on, get to the cell phone.
So now I'm taking notes at all the craziness that's going, because I can't believe my fucking ears, right? It's like how much chaos do you have at the house going on? So I'm taking notes. Finally, she doesn't realize, of course, I'm writing this down, and I run out of paper. I literally get to the both sides of the end of the paper. I'm like, holy shit! Keep talking, Mom.
Let me see the notes. I want to see the notes.
Look at this.
That's unbelievable.
Look at this. It's all my mom. So wait, so I get it. I get to the bottom of the piece of paper. I'm literally, hold on, Mom. I gotta get something. I'm not telling her it's another piece of paper, but I go into the other room and I'm rifling through the drawer and I'm looking for another piece of paper, and I hear from the other room, because I have her on speakerphone. Like she's deflating. Literally just groans of stressful agony that she's expelling while being on hold. It's just like she's thinking about her life.
My kid, look at him. What a failure.
On a garbage TV show, and not even a real thing. It's on that internet. And it's he's so foul-mouthed. And why does he settle down with a nice woman? But I'm hearing these literal fucking groans coming from the other room. It's my mother on speakerphone, like thinking about her life, groaning in agony, like someone's torturing her.
Wait till you get old, John. You'll groan too.
I'm groaning right now. Just listening to these stories, I'm groaning. This was this week's. Wait till you see it. This is the list of things that Mom has gone through. So continuing the saga of As the Mom Turns. So my mother has the situation with the weeds again, 6-foot weeds on the property. So she finally gets the gardener to come down. So she says, well, John, I've got to go now. I'm like, Mom, why do you have to leave now? It's only 6 o'clock. I'm talking. Well, I got to get some sleep. I got to be up very early tomorrow. Why do you have to be up early tomorrow? Well, the gardener's coming. Well, what time is he coming? Well, I don't know, but they said sometime in the afternoon. So I figure I'll be ready at 5. I'm like, 5? That's toward the evening. No, 5 a.m. I'm like, 5 a.m.? What the fuck are you doing up at 5 a.m.? No, I'm not up at 5 a.m. I've got to be ready at 5 a.m. What if they come early? Mom, they said they're coming in the afternoon sometime. Well, what if they come later? If they come really early, then I'm really screwed because I have a lot to do in the morning. I got to get dressed, just throw on some pants. And what about a shirt? And then I got to brush my teeth. And I'm like, Ma, you're prepping like you're going to the Oscars. Just some immigrant gardeners are going to come to your door in the afternoon. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, we're here to clean the weeds. Hey, Miss Mancura, your teeth are beautifully white. Did you water pick them? It's very nice. Did you use the white strips? It's I've got to be ready for them. I mean, you never know what time they're showing up. I said, Ma, they're not going to show up at 5 fucking a.m. They said the afternoon. That's barely even morning. She's like, well, I got to be ready. So she gets ready at 5 a.m. Then she calls me up about lunchtime. They're not here yet. Mom, they said they'd show up in the afternoon. That's later on. Well, I understand, but what if they did come early? I had to be ready. So all this time, there we go. All this time, I've got to be prepared in case they come early. So, and then I promised them I would pay them in cash, which means I have to go to the bank when the bank opens. So,
wait. Continuity question. Had they shown up at 5 a.m. like she was planning on, how was she going to pay them?
She would pay them later on that day.
But then what's the whole
she's not
point?
paying them until after the job is done. but she has to get to the bank at some point. Hey, what's my mom doing over in your place?
This is what she's doing.
Oh, Paul, it's the shocker. Live long and shocker. And now she's sitting on Johnny's face. Mom.
Oh, look at this. Fucking awesome. Woo! Hang on.
Oh, my God, Paul. Wiggle your nose a little bit like that. I like when you do that. Oh. Wish my husband would do that.
This looks like the intro to the Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids is coming out of your mom.
It's coming in my mom. hey, I'm gonna get some pussy, and I'm gonna do your mom, Mancuda. We'll have a fun now when we do a gangbang. Give in to your mother with my big black thang. Nah, nah, nah. Gonna be your bitch, mom. Hey, hey, hey.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Wow. I'd like to thank our sponsors and for all they've done for us and wish them the best night.
Thank you to Bang Energy.
Everyone. Everyone, my fucking career is over.
Thank you to Bang Energy.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me getting up for work tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Not an issue.
The dog's like, Dad, you're home? So anyway, let me go through this nightmare scenario. So mom basically gets ready to go to the bank. She hangs up with me. She calls me immediately back. Oh no, what am I gonna do? My car battery's dead. I said, what do you mean? Well, I haven't used my car in a while, and now the battery's dead. So now I won't be able to get to the bank. How will I pay the gardeners? I'm like, oh, geez. Well, I'll call you back in a minute, John. So she calls me back 10 minutes later. I was like, Mom, what were you doing? Well, I called AAA, Geico Roadside, and Mercedes. I figure whoever shows up first will open up the car. I said, you called 3 roadside services? Yeah, well, I figure that between all of them, they'll go open the car. So apparently all 3 of these services show up within 5 minutes of each other all together. So
and of course, your mother's out there goes, there can be only one.
It's like the Highlander, you know? So she gives him the key. And she says, the battery's in the trunk, but the trunk has it sticks a little. So 3 different guys is sitting there alternating, trying different things. She said one had a pliers, and then one was twisting the hand of the other. And then the gardeners show up, and there were 3 of them. So they were trying to help. So 6 guys are surrounding my mother's car trunk to get in there to open the battery to have it jumped. But I imagine like a human chain of, okay, I'll turn your hips, you turn his hips, you turn his hips, like a human centipede with one guy with the key at the end of the trunk. All right, everybody, ready? Turn! Lean into it! Turn! Ah! We're trying! So 6 guys, all of them couldn't get this fucking trunk open. And my mother, in the meanwhile, is saying, she's yelling outside, wiggle it! Just wiggle it!
Just a little bit! Just a little bit!
Be careful, though! It's a classic! It's a classic! Be
classic?
Careful.
What's it, like an 81 Chrysler New Yorker?
It's the 2000, I think it's like a 2007 Mercedes.
Yes, it's a classic.
It's a classic. It's like it's you know, but it's like she thinks that's like the most incredible car in the world, and she's sitting there like yelling at these guys. Meanwhile, you know, the neighbors that are next door, that are the ones that called the town to report that the weeds are 6 feet high, they're probably looking out the window like, what the fuck is going on out there?
You do realize, by the way, the weed situation can be resolved with a gas can and a match, right?
Yeah, take down the whole neighborhood. It's great.
You guys know the number to 911. Have at it.
So wait, so this is going on. she didn't wind up getting the trunk open. So she's like, well, I had to talk to the owner and pay them in check. And it was just a whole thing. And then, so I said to her, I said, Mom, what did you do with all these guys? What did you tell them? And she's like, well, I just said that, just work. I'll call your boss and everything. So these poor 3 guys just stand outside the house like, should we do this? Are we getting paid? It's like, because my mother's basically like, I have no El money. Do you speak English? I don't have El money. Dinero? No dinero. No dinero.
By the way, did this phone call begin with Johnny? I have a question. What's a train?
All I know is they want to run it on me, and they said they'll give me a discount. Should I do it?
Johnny, what's a train? What does this mean?
They said they want to clear out
training.
They said they want to clear my bush. Do you think that's something I should have done?
Should I have my caboose checked?
So then she decides to go one step further, and she's like, I have all these boxes piled up. I'm wondering if they'll take out the boxes. So she goes to these guys that are doing the lawn, and she's like, excuse me, could you come in here for a minute? We got to put the masks on. Okay, now come in. Could you guys take these boxes out? So she takes all these
fucking handymen. When did they become handymen?
I know. This is my life. I know. So she has these poor guys come in, take all these boxes out and stack them by the front of the driveway. So it looks like a fucking pyramid. And the neighbors are probably looking out the window now like, I knew those Jews like to build pyramids, but Jesus, what is going on out there? And I said, Mom.
Slam.
Happy Jew year, by the way. Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, yeah, Lashana Tova.
Lashana Tova to my fellow Jews. Anyway, so I wind up hearing that, well, the good news is they took out all the boxes. And I'm like, well, you had them break it down, right? Break it down? And they weren't wrapping or anything. What do you mean? I said, Ma, the boxes, the town won't take them unless they're broken down. They're big cardboard boxes. They won't take them. Oh, no, because they're outside now, and they're piled pretty high in front of the house. I'm like, holy shit, the neighbors think you're building Trump's wall. Mom, you got to have the guys break it down. Oh, well, they left already. They won't be back for 2 days.
You've got a mountain of cardboard in front of your mother's house.
A mountain of boxes in front of my mother. Yeah, there it is. Yep. There it is.
Should end
that's in front of my mother's driveway right now. Right, just like that. Just like that. And of course, the neighbors are probably pulling the neighbors are probably pulling their fucking hair out right now. Like, what the fuck is going on? We've had trucks with sirens coming and like a herd of people with mowers, and we had boxes of piling over. This is worse than when we called the town. We should have just left her alone. So that's in front of the house now. And I'm like, Mom, the town's not going to take it. And now, how do you ask these guys to break it down? Hey, I know you don't do this kind of thing. I know you just mow the lawn and kill the weeds and stuff. But how about you just fucking take some razors that you conveniently might have and just break them all down and sit there for an hour and flatten them out into a nice, neat, recyclable pile. Okay.
I would like to point out that that the box situation solution is exactly the same as the weed solution. Gas can and a match. Handled.
Yeah, first they're there to trim my mother's bush. Now they're there to clear out her box. So I mean, no matter what, these guys are all hooking up with my mother. It's like, hey, this is a great place. Yeah. So
by the way, we have a score update. It's 49-38. Thumbs up to thumbs down. 38 thumbs down. This is great.
This is a new record.
Back to Mancuda rant.
Now back to the mom report. So let's see. Let me add on all the bullet points of the rest of the things that have gone on this week.
By the way, do you want to recap here? John's mom had some gardeners come over, some landscaping guys come over to take care of the weeds in her neighborhood because the neighbors have been complaining that the weeds are too tall. Of course, she also called 3 different people to unlock the trunk of her car, which has a little bit of a thing, but be careful, it's a classic. So that gets taken care of. While the guys are handling the weeds, she realizes she has too many boxes. Those have to be taken out to the curb. She asks the landscapers, who are not handymen by any way, shape, or form, to put on their masks, come in the house, get these boxes, and help them take her to the street. Well, by help her take them to the street means they're taking them to the street. However, she doesn't call anybody to get the boxes taken up in any way, shape, or form. So at this point, we have a pile of boxes in front of Mrs. Mancuta's home, and she has 12 toes on each foot.
So let's see. Going through the rest of the week, because this went on all week. I've never had so many phone calls with my mom. And understand, I talk to her every day, but every day there were multiple incidents. So this other one, let's see. Pizza delivery. She had a craving for a veal parm hero.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It sounds good, right? It sounds easy.
It sounds good in Arizona because I can't get that. You can't get a good veal parm in fucking Phoenix, Arizona. You want Mexican food? I got that in spades.
Yeah.
Getting a good veal parm or a decent pizza here, almost impossible.
Well, if you do that, it's probably very possible. Someone will tenderize your veal.
Hello?
Veal.
Hello? Who's this? It's the metal god. Of course it is.
So you were talking about me on the show.
I would never say again. I will never badmouth Rob Halford. He's too nice a guy.
None of us would badmouth him. Will we joke with him? Yes. We are joking with him because we support him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So my mom wanted a veal hero. She drove the guy nuts on the phone. I know she did it that way because she described to me, well, I called up. First I said, well, do you have a shrimp parm hero? And he says, well, we do. And she's like, is it big shrimp? Are they grilled? Are they seasoned? Do they have garlic? I don't like garlic. Do you take the tails off? Is it in tomato sauce or Fray Diablo sauce? Do you make a good Fray Diablo sauce? Can I order it that way? Does it have cheese? Oh, I didn't want it with cheese. But then it wouldn't be Parmesan, right? Parmesan is with cheese. And what type of sauce? How many shrimp do you get? This went on until she finally landed onto, she says, I went through shrimp parm. I was thinking about that. Then I went to chicken parm. I thought about that. Then they had a meatball sub that sounded good. Then sausage. And, I said, how big's your sausage? And that got a chuckle. I don't understand. Yeah. So I asked about sausage parm. I said, is your sausage big? Is it sliced? Is it thick? Does it have fennel? Oh, it has fennel. I don't want fennel. Well, a chicken parm would be nice. Is it fresh chicken? Is it pounded? Did you pound your meat? Is it thick? Is it crispy? Is it crispy? Is it crispy? Is it crusty? Is it crispy? Is it crispy crusty? Does it have egg in it? Oh, I don't like it like that. Now you put Parmesan cheese on top of the mozzarella? No, I don't want that. Can I get the bread toasted? Oh, it's already toasted. All right, but I don't want chicken tonight. Do you have veal? So she got to the veal. Finally, this must have been a 20-minute phone call with these people. She got the thing. Is there a delivery fee? All right. Well, I guess, do I have to tip them as well? And the delivery fee. All right. Well, send the veal parm over. The guy gets there with the veal parm. She gives the guy a tip. She goes inside. She takes one bite. I was very disappointed. It was like leather. And then she called the guy out and says, well, can I get a partial credit? Can I get the delivery fee waived next time? Because it was really terrible. It was like leather. And then she goes to me and calls me back and says, don't talk about this on the show because I think some people that work there like music. And what if they listen to your show? They won't deliver to me anymore. And she was dead serious.
That's why they won't deliver
serious. That's probably why we have so many thumbs down today is because the pizza place is like, Isn't her son the guy in the pink hat on that Talking Guitars and 80s Metal show we all listen to? Yeah, that really popular one that hundreds of thousands of people, or like 2.3 million people in the U.S. watch every Tuesday night. Yeah, that's him. You know what? I just heard on that show that she was really complaining about us. Let's not deliver to her house anymore. She was literally saying that. Don't talk about it on the show, because if they watch the show, then they won't deliver to me anymore. So
you
then
do realize that everything that she has delivered to that house going forward is going to have clams in it, whether she orders it or not.
It's yeah, absolutely. It's this is a creamy sauce on here.
Yep.
I remember what a creamy sauce.
Everything she gets is going to be salty and clammy.
Yeah. Then she went into a speed round of problems she has from that conversation. This all went down in 5 minutes, like I do at a whorehouse.
Right.
Yeah. So from the pizza delivery, we went into, I have terrible allergies. My eyes are itching. I have sniffles, sore throat, my skin's itching, and it's very cold in here. But then it was hot, so I turned down the heat, but then it got cold again, so I turned up the heat. And then there's storms coming, and I don't know how to put batteries in the lanterns. Your father has these pop-up lanterns. I don't know how to put batteries in them. I mean,
how happy is your father? He's in the fucking hospital right now.
Right now, my dad's like, I'm in traction. Half my foot is gone. My bone is hanging out of my skin, but my wife's not here.
Yeah. He's like, oh, best night's sleep ever.
I'm shitting in a cup. The nurses are abusive to me. The food is like bologna and watery jello, but my wife's not here. I'm relaxed. This is wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, every day he's wiping the bedpan off his ass, but he's thrilled to be there. And my mother's
my wife's not here. I'm so alone.
Yeah, and then she's going to me about these batteries and these lanterns, and then she goes to me with the car. This is another one. She's like, no one was able to get the trunk, but there's a mechanic that I was going to take you to for an inspection. Now, maybe if I call him up and say, I need it inspected, can you do it at the house? He'll come here, he'll have to open the trunk, and then he'll be able to jump it and drive it for the inspection. So that's a possibility. I think she's going to try that. I literally think she's going to bring in another person. And make no mistake, when I'm home, here's how I open the trunk. Boink, that's it. There's no trick to it. I don't know what she's telling the guys. What is wrong with this fucking car trunk? I mean, it's mind-blowing. So she's trying the inspection. Then it's like, this is the new. There it is. Then
it's like Chris Holmes Trans Am.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Johnny, if you can find a picture of Chris Holmes Trans Am, which I think is still for sale.
It's a classic.
Be careful. The trunk has a little bit of a thing. You gotta wiggle it just a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit.
It's like shitty gangbang. It's like you get in front.
It's schlep car.
From Wonderbug and Schlepp pouring everywhere. Johnny, Google Schlepp car Wonderbug.
Didn't think you were going to get a Schlepp car reference tonight, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny, what is up with this fakakta Mercedes?
I don't understand. It's supposed to be the highest quality. Yeah, it's great. All you need to do is open it and
open the trunk. By the way, most Mercedes, I don't want to tell your mom this, but most Mercedes that are built after 1941, in the glove box, you can just push a button and the spring will release the trunk.
It's in the armrest, actually. There you go. That's Wonderbug. Google Wonderbug. Google Schlepp car, which is
By the way, Wonderbug, remarkably diverse for its time. If you go back to that picture,
yes.
Remarkable, like unnecessary diversity at the time.
Asian man, white girl, black man. That was the Crofts were ahead of their time. There we go. That middle one. That middle one. That's the one. Zoom in on that, Johnny.
Schlepp car is awesome.
Or click on that. Or
by the way, the girl on Wonderbug looks familiar.
Hot as hell, whoever she was.
Yeah, I forget who that is.
I don't care who she was, but look at Schlepp car. That's the one.
I'd like to thank Thunder Falcon for the nice words about my Gene Simmons.
Thank you, Thunder Falcon.
No, Schlepp car is fucking awesome.
There he is. Yeah,
my tongue is a Bible popper.
So while that's all going on, I get a call the other day, and she's like, "You're never gonna believe this. What's the matter, Ma? The woodpecker's back." So now
Honey, we've lost the Wi-Fi password. Do you know what it is?
Yeah. Now you have on the same side of the house that the complaining neighbor is. Now there's Mom and the Schlepp car.
Yes.
Now you have on the same side of the house that the neighbor is. You have a constant. Can you hear that? You hear that? So my mother.
That's what it sounds like in your apartment every night.
Yeah, that's not the sound effect. That's not the sound effect I was hoping for. That's closer to my bed at 4 a.m. when I wake up. No, but so my mother basically says, so he starts pecking at like 4 a.m. And I'm assuming she's still talking about the bird, not the gardeners. So he starts pecking at 4 a.m. and it's driving me crazy. And he's there every morning. So I'm banging on the wall and I'm yelling at him, stop pecking, stop pecking, stop that pecking. So you can only imagine.
Stop that pecking.
You can only imagine the next door neighbor whose side of the house is right close to that wall. Just is in bed and he's like this in his covers, and then 4 a.m. What the fuck is that? Stop pecking! Stop pecking! And the sound of a woodpecker doing a drum roll on the side of the house, and my mom banging, stop pecking! Holy shit. So this is going on every fucking morning. Fucking Woody Woodpecker is on the fucking side of the house, pecking on the fucking house, breaking the panels apart. Yeah. You can't get your car open. Yeah. The walrus is next door trying to have a barbecue.
Why wouldn't the woodpecker just knock down all that pile of fucking boxes in the front yard?
I'm surprised he hasn't made a home in there.
Seems like an easy thing to do. Just get up there and wow, this is the softest wood ever.
Yeah, maybe the woodpecker could peck through the trunk and get to the battery. Yeah, so now you have the woodpecker, the boxes, the weeds, the car lock, 3 types of tow trucks, all these Mexican gardeners, and my mother yelling, wiggle it, stop pecking, wiggle it, stop pecking, wiggle it, stop pecking. It's a classic. Stop pecking. The neighbor's probably like,
the aristocrats.
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that car has a T-shirt.
Does he really? Is that Schlepp?
By the way, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. I was just looking at the idea that Schlepp car, for those people that know, Schlepp is a very Yiddish sort of
it's a Jewish term. Yeah.
The entire show. By the way, the guy Jack Baker, you'll recognize him. One of the guys, C.C. McNamara, that was the character. And by the way, Wonderbug lasted a whopping 22 episodes. That's 21 more episodes than this show should have lasted.
Well, tell him the premise. Tell him the basic premise, because a lot of people don't know. Well, it's a 1970s live action Croft Super Show. No, that's the Bugaloos.
No,
that's another hot girl.
It's all the same thing.
It's all a Sid and Marty Krofft thing.
Right.
But the car was a supercar.
What it was is they basically these 3 teenagers.
It was basically they decided to make a Saturday morning version of Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah, well, sort of. Basically, it's like they had this junker car and they found this magic horn and they strapped it to the side of the car, honked it, and the horn transformed him into Wonderbug, this dune buggy that could talk and fly and do all sorts of wondrous things. And there it is.
Okay. So that car turns into that car then.
Yes, it's a superhero.
Okay. Magic horn.
It's Shazam on wheels.
Basically, yeah. it's Shazam right there.
But if you look at that
it's like the Gene-mobile.
Yes. Yeah. If you look at that cast, you look at only the black guy went on to be like a star. The other two guys, other two people just went off to do other things that had never been heard from before. But if you look at that guy, the African-American guy, the black guy, look at his IMDb page, you'll recognize the face. You'll be like, oh my God, I know who that guy is. He's been in like, but he's always played like, the Antonio Fargas type character where he was a pimp or a drug dealer or like
no stereotype there.
Yeah, he went from being a superhero in Wonderbug to like, random drug guy number 2.
Those are the roles I usually get. Yeah, there you go. There's Wonderbug flying and,
Oh, this looks awesome.
Oh, it's great. My mother approves.
No, it's not. It's not great, but
it's typical Croft, 70s silly stuff, which is fun. I mean, look, Land of the Lost was the exceptional Croft show. And then you had, from there you had Puffin
and
stuff.
The Sea Monsters.
And then the Sea Monsters.
Dr. Shrinker.
Well, Dr. Shrinker was like a D level, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, Dr. Shrinker, Captain Cool and the Kongs, the Bugaloos.
Now, Arc 2 wasn't a Sid and Marty Krofft thing, was it?
No, but it was also a live action, that was, I think, Filmation, if I remember.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But there you go.
See, now, it's the guy in the middle. You've seen him in like every movie. Like in the 70s, he was every like drug dealer. Like, if you look at him, you go, oh, my God, that guy looks like Antonio Fargas. He's been in, like, a shitload of things. And the girl, I don't know where she went off to be, but I'm guessing she's probably in a kitchen in Long Island somewhere.
Next door, my mom. She's the one complaining about the weeds in the boxes now.
She had great Farrah hair.
Yeah, she had the pretty, feathered hair. And
yeah.
The guy with the brown hair, is he Asian or Mexican? He's some sort of mix. I can't tell.
The guy on the right?
Yeah.
Jewish.
That guy? Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I guess looking at the nose. Yeah. He's my tribe. He's my tribe. I believe the eyes behind the glasses threw me off, but he's one of me.
Let's face it. I think it was Toady Fields who said on the Mike Douglas show to Gene Simmons, you can't hide the hook, sweetie. That was one of the funniest things. If those people that don't know this, so Kiss is on the Mike Douglas show. I think it's like 1974. They had just come out. And, they're all in the makeup, and Gina's got the bat wings on, and he's doing the thing up there and thumbnail.
Kiss also came out? I thought it was just Judas Priest.
No, it was just Judas Priest. No, Paul still hasn't come out.
But I do it for all the male fans.
For the fans.
For the male fans.
So I don't know if it was Mike Douglas or somebody who said, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be interesting if underneath all that makeup was a just sweet Jewish boy? And I think Gene Simmons' response was like, you have no idea, or something like that. Yeah. And Toady Fields goes, you can't hide the hook, sweetie. Like completely outs him. Completely outs him as being Jewish. Because, like, can you imagine? Like, let's face it. No offense intended, but historically, Jews not exactly the most threatening people in the world. And here's Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons.
Gene is the champion. Gene is the champion of us all because we're good at running. We're good. Listen, we'll run. If you chase us with chariots, we're running across the desert for 40 years. It's like chariots, Pharaoh's men. Come on, Moses, the sea, do this, the water thing. Just do it. Well, I don't know. There's, the Lord's. He gave you the fucking. Raise it. Come on. Oh, let's all go.
Why do I have fucking? I just went right to Blazing Saddles there for a second. Suddenly Moses became Slim Pickens. Now somebody's got to go back and get a shitload of shekels. You're like, Moses, do the thing, and I'm like, now somebody's got to go back and get a shitload of shekels. Suddenly, Moses is Slim Pickens in fucking blazing saddles.
Well, you know, there is that pillar of fire there. That's not something to be unappreciated. Moses, come on, chariots! Yeah, so 40 years later, we're still crossing desert. And then, of course, Hitler comes along. Hey, guys, we got to move again. Let's clear the ghetto. Come on. The Germans are coming. Let's go, go, go. And we wound up in New York. And now we're on Long Island with my mother.
By the way, Dan in New Jersey, I have met members of the Mossad. And how do you think Israel is able to survive on that fucking piece of sand over there? Jews are the toughest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah. Jokes. all jokes aside, Israel has the second most powerful air force in the world. So
they are the toughest people on the planet. You try to think of when a country tries to exterminate you, and you're still able to fucking. Those people are fucking awesome. I would never ever. Well, first of all, I don't badmouth any fucking ethnicity or religion because
including
we're all in this together.
Hey.
These are unprecedented times. We're all in this together.
No, but seriously, you know, I have relatives from and in Israel, and they join the military at 13. That's a given. So everybody,
it's expected.
Shit. Yeah, everybody's tough as shit. They're carrying machine guns at 13. You don't fuck around with my people.
And not only that, those motherfuckers at 13 can disassemble that thing and reassemble it blindfolded. They're badass. No. You know, Americans, this is the thing about this country. We are so fucking fat and spoiled. This is why we, you know, and not to get into the mask thing, but this is why the rest of the world is shitting all over us. Because at 13 in other countries, kids are asked to do something. In 13 in this country, kids are bitching because they don't have a fucking iPhone 8. What is wrong with us? And all I want to say is, it is the greatest country in the world because we're the fattest and the laziest and the worst. And we have the worst taste in television shows. And kazoo should be outlawed.
Yeah.
No, we are. Other countries place unrealistic, according to Americans, unrealistic responsibility on children. I mean, think about Ozzy. Ozzy was working in the fucking steel mill at like 9. Like the people in other countries have it tough. We have it really easy here. Despite all the bullshit that we talk about and all the things we complain about, we have it easy. The toughest thing we have to do now for John and me tonight is to try and make it to 8 o'clock Western time or 11 o'clock Eastern. That's all we're trying to do. Fill 3 hours of nonsense here. That's the toughest challenge we have in our life.
Yeah, if we could just make
challenge we have.
Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, we'd like to give our best wishes to Jack Osbourne's 2.5-year-old granddaughter, Minnie. I'm sorry, Jack Osbourne's 2.5-year-old daughter, Minnie. Ozzy Osbourne's 2.5-year-old granddaughter, who apparently was diagnosed with COVID-19 and caught it from one of Jack's workers, and that also put Sharon in quarantine, which she doesn't show symptoms of it, but she was around the baby, so just to be precautious, because she can't bring that around Ozzy with his all his medical issues, you know, God forbid. So Sharon Osbourne
Sharon's had so much surgery, she's not showing anything anymore.
Yeah, you won't know if she has anything. So she, you know, we just want to wish Ozzy's granddaughter Minnie a healthy recovery.
Sure, absolutely.
From COVID-19. And Sharon, while you're in quarantine, think about what you did to Jake E. Lee. You think about that. And I got something else for you to think about. Lee Kerslake, 73 years old. Ozzy's drummer during the Blizzard of Oz band period, when those first 2 solo albums,
first 2 records,
with Randy Rhoads. He was the drummer on those albums. He passed away from cancer at age 73. Now that's terrible, and of course, rest in peace and condolences to his family and friends. This is the piece that kind of caught me in the eye. Was while he was alive, before he passed away, he wrote to Sharon and Ozzy in an attempt to get platinum certified certificates for his work on those 2 albums. Apparently, when you work on an album like Blizzard of Oz or Diary of a Madman that goes platinum, every band member is supposed to get a copy of that platinum album with the certificate and the plaque. Apparently, Sharon did not put his name in to the application, so he has never gotten that credit. And he says, I wrote them a really nice letter. I was hoping they would just mail me these plaques so I could have something showing that I was a part of these albums, but Sharon didn't put in for me. So
here's the worst part of that story. When somebody gets a platinum record, it's not just the band members, it's people who worked on the record and stuff. I have more platinum albums than Lee Kerslake. True story. I got like 4 or 5 of them on the wall from records that I worked with, Help Breaking Records, Kid Rock, shit like that. They put in, the band members get them, the crew gets them, the people that worked on the record label that were on the promotions team get them, and the program directors and people that are instrumental in breaking the band at radio get them. So when I saw that story, and that's not a big time thing. I'm not trying to fucking, I'm impressive, I got a platinum record. The point is, when I saw that story, I was like, you got to be shitting me. Like, how is it that I have records from things that, and I have no musical talent whatsoever. The guy that played on the record, and remember the Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake, the rhythm section of the original Blizzard of Oz band, they also wrote a lot of those first 2 records. People like to give Randy Rhoads all the credit, and Bob Daisley wrote a lot of those records. Both of those guys have been screwed for decades by Sharon Osbourne. Not necessarily Ozzy, because I think if it was Ozzy's choice, Ozzy would be like, so just give it to him. He doesn't give a shit.
Ozzy doesn't do the business
Couldn't
end.
give a shit less.
Here's Ozzy on the business end. So I finished recording the record. Can I take a nap now and do some blow?
Yes, exactly.
Here's a bag for you. Go off in the room. I'll take care of everything. Ozzy. Make sure everyone gets yes.
And that's the thing. The idea that Lee Kerslake had to fucking beg, and literally, I want to say less than 3 years ago. I mean, it was
2018. The end of 2018.
They only gave him those records because he had been diagnosed as being terminally ill. They were the dying wishes of a guy whose career was over and had nothing left to live for. That's not a slam. I'm not slamming him at all. What I'm saying is it was a last moment of charity. It was something, I don't know if Sharon thinks it's going to redeem her, or maybe because she has a better concept of her own and Ozzy's mortality, that she did something human for him.
I think she asked for return postage costs.
Yeah, maybe. But the idea that Lee Kerslake had to fucking grovel for what those two records, if those 2 records don't work, Ozzy's done. It doesn't happen for him. Lee Kerslake, who, by the way, was also in the band Uriah Heep. People forget that too. I mean, he had already had a career before joining the Blizzard of Oz band. But the sad part about it is, not only is he on the first 2 records, he's not in any of the pictures on the albums. Fucking Tommy Aldridge is on the pictures and the inside sleeves of those albums. Kerslake left the band in 81, right before the Blizzard of Oz tour kicked. I mean, the Diary of a Madman tour kicked in. So Tommy Aldridge and Rudy Sarzo get a lot of credit for being part of the Blizzard of Oz band, when in fact it was Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake. The idea that Lee Kerslake had to get terminal fucking cancer and beg for what was rightfully his just speaks to the evil nature of who Sharon Osbourne is. And again, part of that is Sharon, and part of it is because her father was an incredible cocksucker. Guy named Don Arden, who's the guy who ripped off Black Sabbath and several other bands. Don Arden was a scumbag of the highest order. And Sharon, that's how she learned everything she knows, was being Don's daughter. So
Deja Voodoo says Sharon is a platinum certified Karen.
Yeah. Now, all of that said, I've crossed paths with Sharon twice backstage at an Ozfest, and
did she charge you?
No, she
it's
couldn't have been.
It's like a toll.
She was with Gloria Butler at the time. The two of them were walking their little fucking dogs. And it was nice. I mean, she was very pleasant, said hello, nice to meet you, that kind of deal. Never really met her, but it was, exchange things. We're in our broadcast booth.
Did I ever screw you over for money by chance?
On the other side, Gloria Butler couldn't have been nicer. Gloria Butler must have seen what shit, because Gloria Butler handled Geezer's career, the GZR records and stuff like that, and she's basically his manager. That's a very, like, with the Black Sabbath thing, it's a very in-house thing. That's where Zakk Wylde learned to let Barbara Ann call all the shots for him for a long time, is because that's how they learned it. It's keep it in the family type deal. Gloria Butler couldn't have been a nicer woman. Sharon was pleasant. 14 seconds that I've had an opportunity to say hello to her twice. But when you look at the history of what she's done, what she did to Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake, especially, I mean, we can talk about Jakey Lee too and have ad nauseum, but taking Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake off those first two records and replacing them with Mike Borden and Rob Trujillo was the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do to anyone in the music industry. Those two records are seminal records that are responsible for the foundation of Ozzy Osbourne's career. And to have your work erased in favor of, and by the way, this is not Trujillo and Borden's fault. They were employees and did what they were supposed to do. They were asked to play those rhythm tracks. They played them. They put them on the record. What Sharon did was abominable. Thankfully,
same with Tommy Aldrich. It's not Tommy's fault.
No, those guys, when you're an employee and you're a sideman and stuff like that, you show up, you're Tommy Thayer, you shut up and do the job. But to watch what Sharon did to Lee Kerslake was just reprehensible. Thankfully, somewhere deep down in that fucking black heart of hers,
or whatever's in that chasm,
whatever it was, God love her for it. She's making amends now. She's starting to make some decisions. And again, I think it might have something to do with a realization that Ozzy is not immortal. She's not immortal. She's been sick. Ozzy's been sick. Her kids are sick. It's almost like a karmic bitch slap for some strange reason. The universe has a way of reminding you your place in it.
Fine. Here's your plaque.
Right. And she finally.
Here, stop whining. You have cancer. You have bigger things to worry about. Don't bother me with your plaque. It's silliness.
So when she finally gave him their platinums, he actually did the whole finally. Like, that was all he wanted. It wasn't about money. It was about recognition. And in the end, I guess for an artist, in the end, that's really what it's all about. You just want to be recognized for your contributions.
Yeah, for gosh sakes. I mean, how much did the guy really ask? I mean, Jakey Lee deserves so much more, and obviously he's not getting it either. But It's like, when you're on your deathbed and you're reaching out for your children, one last thing, make sure Sharon knows she's a cunt. I mean, it's like, we will, Father, we will make sure everyone knows Sharon's a cunt, I mean, this is what it comes down to, that you have to do. So rest in peace, Lee Kerslake. Sorry you had to go through that, but there's Sharon related news. And while we're on death, because hey, let's bring the show up with cheer, right? We have to give tribute to unfortunately Bernie Rico Jr., son of Bernie Rico Sr., who basically was BC Rich, if you're familiar with the guitar company. And apparently, Bernie Rico Sr. passed away in 1999. His son, Bernie Rico Jr., was also a builder at BC Rich as he's growing up, and eventually formed his own company of Bernie Rico Jr. Guitars. And there was a whole debacle with it, because they started out building these really high quality guitars, and then his partner and him had some sort of financial issue, and the partner ran off, leaving Bernie holding the bag of debts. And all these orders that had been placed with Bernie Rico Jr. guitars and deposits, the partner basically ran off with the money, leaving Bernie Rico, saying, what do I do now? And it was just a terrible time. It was about 2000, I want to say 2011, 12, 13, right around there. But a lot of people lost their money, their deposits, and Bernie Rico Jr. went out of business. as time went on, he was having a lot of health issues. He was having heart issues. He was having depression issues, a lot of other things. And he started to recently, in the last year, try to get back on the horse and basically say, hey, look, I'm going to make good on all, I said I would make good back then when my partner screwed me and screwed everyone else in the process. But right now I'm going to come back on and make good and do this company again. I'm going to get back on the horse. I'm going to, if you left the deposit, we're going to work it out and whatever. So he was on that track. Unfortunately, circumstances a little unclear right now of how he passed away. A lot of speculation. I really don't want to feed that fire until there's a definitive answer. But at the end of the day, he was on medication and he passed away in his sleep. And it's a great loss to the guitar community because that is the legacy of BC Rich. That is his son. He was there since the beginning and he carried on the legacy of his father. And he has a brother, Joey, who really isn't a guitar builder. So it was really him. And he was basically, carrying on that family heritage. And now that's gone because he has sadly passed away the other day.
Yeah, that's terrible. I heard about that as well. And
yeah, and if you Google Bernie Rico Jr. guitars, he came up with a lot of, much like his father back in the 70s and 80s, he came up with a lot of innovative designs. He came up with what's called the Vixen, the Jekyll, the Hyde, the Alias, or what was the Alias originally and became the Jekyll. He came up with a lot of designs. Johnny will bring up some images, but they were made. I had a chance recently to play one of them, and they were very solid guitars, very well made guitars. They didn't make that many of them, again because of the business situation. Right there, like that purple one in the middle. That's a Hyde, and that was made for guitarist Jack Frost of Seven Witches and Savatage. But that's a Bernie Rico Jr. guitar. Really, really innovative designs. There's the Hesperian. That's like a Super Strat design. You look over to the right, that green one is, I believe, one of a kind called the Terra, Tera.
Yeah, a lot of interesting design shapes.
Yeah, a lot of good metal shapes, a lot of good things like that. Let's see. And there's the Vixen. The Vixen, basically a take on a Flying V, but look at those interior edge horns inside the V shape.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really nice guitar. And again,
do you have any of those?
I had the one that was Jack Frost's, the purple one, the first Hyde you were showing. I used to own that. I sold it to a friend. That was his anniversary gift from his wife.
That one?
Yeah, that one. So I used to own that one. And great guitar. Just again, rock solid built guitars, hand built guitars, just like the early BC Rich. Mm-hmm. And again, unique other designs. Cool stuff. So that's some really neat stuff.
How are the thumbs ups are winning?
Yeah, what's that all about,
man? What the hell? The hell?
You know why they're winning? Because we want them to lose. But we do have 96. We do have 96 responses. So,
well, that's better than none.
Hey, that's
better than. This is the most bizarro episode ever.
Yep.
So there you go. So rest in peace, Bernie Rico Jr. We wanted to touch on that. So now we got all the bad news out of the way. Let's see. Let's give some good music news. A couple of things that are in the works behind closed doors right now. Steve Lynch of Autograph, the very well-known 8-finger tapping guitar technique maestro of the band Autograph, Turn Up the Radio and all those other songs. He is working on a memoir right now. Everyone now, I'm really glad everyone now seems to be doing tell-all books, talk about the back in the 80s days and what happened behind closed doors. And let me just update everyone coming in. Amanda Coombs and my buddy over at Vine and Pickups, some of the best pickups out there, wondering why all the thumbs down. Well, today we started the show late. We started with a few thumbs down. It built up and built up and built up until we basically got to the point of, you know what? We want more thumbs down. So we've actually been pushing that agenda today. This is the backwards episode of the show.
It's Bizarro World.
Yeah, that's what you missed. Basically, my mother has no problems. Sharon Osbourne, as you just heard, reached a settlement with Jakey Lee, and we're looking for as many thumbs down as possible today.
But right before we finish the show, though, what if all those thumbs downs went the other way?
We wouldn't complain. We would
have the 100. We would have the 100 thumbs up.
We would like 100 thumbs up. That would be nice. So yeah, for Amanda Coombs and for Amanda Coombs and Craig at Vine and Pickups, we are now just explaining the bizarre happenings of the show. Oh, and we made the mistake of starting with the ending. So yeah, we fucked that up too. So yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. We did
everything. Vine and Pickups, welcome.
Yeah, look at these things. These are just waiting for a nice guitar to put them in. I don't know what maybe a white Les Paul or something, but look at these things. Custom wound Vine pickups. Custom wound for me, to my musical tastes. That's what Vine does. It can make you anything you want. You want a little adjusted tone. You want some custom winds. Look at that. So get your butt to Vine and Pickups if you want something extra special crunching in my ear. Where's that Colonel's popcorn, by the way? That would go nice tonight.
Huh?
Yeah, I ate all of it.
Yeah, Johnny, Paul and I like popcorn too, you know? Yeah, look at that.
Are you kidding me? You know how long it took me to get friggin' Swiss Picks? That popcorn's never going to make it to me.
Look at that PAF. That's a custom wound PAF for me.
Here's what I love about those.
See how it says Mancuda Custom? I can't wait.
What I love about those is you get, like, I'm still trying to get that gem, that 777, which doesn't look like it's going to happen.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I'm still trying to work that deal, but it doesn't look good at this point. But when you get, if you were to get something like a gem, one of those old gems, you know, the pickups tend to get faded. All that stuff gets faded. The original 1987 first three gems, the pink and the yellow and the green, they all have those pink pickups in them, and those tend to get faded and worn out, obviously. So Vine will give you an opportunity. They'll make you a hot pink pickup and stuff that you can install in those guitars to replace the stock ones that are beat to shit. That's a great opportunity to do that. I mean, I always think to myself, well, how would I replace those pickups? I can't get a DiMarzio PAF anymore. Vinyl will wind those things exactly to the same specs.
Or if you want them custom adjusted, that's the beauty of it. Because Craig over at Vinyl said to me, he's like, well, what do you like? What do you like to play? What tones do you like? And do you want it a little hotter? Do you want it a little less muddy? I mean, he'll ask you what you want. Or if you go to Vinyl online and you check it out, there's all these ready to go pickups. They make pickups that mock like a 59 Les Paul pickup or a little soap bar, or they have everything. Just look them up online. You'll explode. Your head will explode. But they'll custom make you stuff like they did those pink pickups for me, boy. So thank you.
And that's the funny thing about it is there are two ways you can get the great guitar sound that you want. You can buy great pickups, custom made, custom wound to your specs, whatever you want. You can buy stock, mock pickups, that kind of deal. You can buy them off the rack stuff, or you can buy several guitars. Like everybody buys, buying one guitar and just swapping the pickups out. Like I mean, Gibson now has the PCB board where you can basically take your pickups and it's just plug and play. and you can change the tone of your guitar in a matter of a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? Go. But why would you do that? You want a Les Paul that has that sound. You want a Strat that has that sound. I mean, you know, you've got dozens of guitars, John.
Dozens, only dozens.
Yeah, just dozens.
I have hundreds.
Yeah, I wasn't. Well, I was trying to save you some security.
100 dozen.
When you get that many guitars, suddenly the idea of just buying stock pickups or getting handmade pickups to put in there, you sit back and say, I want a guitar that sounds like, you know, a BC Rich Gunslinger. Fuck it. I'll buy a BC Rich Gunslinger. Now you can get that sound out of a BC Rich Gunslinger. You can get the pickup sound out of that into a cheap Kramer Focus or everything like that, because it'll get those tones from a custom pickup, you know, winder. Yeah, save you some money. If you're not like John and you don't have vaults full of guitars.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I did years ago, but no. Yeah, these look great.
I go through periods for guitars for me. I know Mancuda loves, you know, obviously the BC Riches. I love Les Pauls. And you go through these periods where you're like, that's all you want to buy is the guitar that you're into for a moment. And then you get tired of that and you're like, oh, I need a different girl to screw tonight. I'm gonna go, you know, but for you, it's pretty much BC Rich, Charvel. Those are the two big ones I always see from you.
Yeah,
you know,
and I have a lot of Jackson and Kramer and ESP. Yeah. You know, but yeah, my two favorite brands are definitely BC Rich and Charvel. They are my two favorites.
Our friend Dane Zimmerman has an American. Now, I did not know ESP made guitars in America, but he has an ESP American Eclipse in his shop right now that just stumbled into his shop. It's a Les Paul shaped guitar, single cutaway, ESP guitars, ESP USA on the headstock, Eclipse on the 12th fret. Looks like an ebony fingerboard and stuff. He just got that thing in yesterday. Beautiful guitar. But ESP Les Paul style guitars, you know, that's a weird niche for people that dig on it, but it's a great guitar.
Oh, look at that. Purple and green pickups as well from Vinyl. Yeah, by the way, that's not the only thing they do is tone. You tell them what you want your pickups to look like. They'll custom make colors for you. I mean, they have all sorts of crazy stuff. Just check them out and trust me on this. I've spoken to a lot of people, even though mine aren't installed in anything yet. I'm like chomping at the bit. I don't know, maybe a white Les Paul or white Kramer, something. I think I want something that makes those pickups pop. But whatever I put them in, I know is going to be good because I've spoken to a lot of people that use Vinyl pickups. So like I know the quality that is in that little box. You know, some people swear by them. So there you go.
Some people swear anyway.
Yeah, I swear a lot. And speaking of nice things, you know what goes nice with colorful pickups is colorful picks. These beautiful Swiss picks that we like using. I gave one to a buddy of mine the other day. Shout out to my friend Mike out there. I gave him one of the glow-in-the-dark ones. I just wanted to see what he thought of it randomly. I said, hey, you ever see these? You ever try these? Never tried one. He tried it. Loves it. So he's going to be a Swiss pick user. Look at that.
Yeah, anything. I mean, it's great, too. I didn't really appreciate the holes in the picks and the way that, you know, you get a grip on them. Until I actually played them. I was like, I can't make that big a difference. It actually does.
They feel great. That's what I use
now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still haven't done the little jazz ones. I can't do the little jazz ones because when you look at the size of my hands, those things get lost. I might as well just use my thumbnail.
Yeah, I can't use the jazz size either. They're too tiny for me.
I'll try them with an acoustic. I'll play them with an acoustic, you know, when I'm just sort of picking away at home. But that's a tough thing for me. I mean, that's the size of my thumb. So at that point, I might as well just use a thumbnail. It's literally smaller than my thumbnail.
Yeah, and speaking of thumbs, leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down today.
Thumbs down, yeah. Thumbs down.
Choice. Your choice. It's your choice today. Today is ladies' choice, Amanda Coombs. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a thumb right up my keister.
Wow.
Yeah, so let me know how my prostate is. So there you go with that. Let's see what time we got. We have to be out of here in an hour. So, okay. We still have time before show and tell. I was starting to say Steve Lynch of Autograph working on a memoir. A lot of guys from the 80s now are doing memoirs, and I'm really happy about it. Just like Rob Halford's coming out next week with Confess, which is supposed to be great because, you know, you've talked to Rob. Rob has a great sense of humor. and he has a dry wit, and he's very straightforward. And I can't wait. Just like he tells that whole, busted in the bathroom cruising story. Cruising for penis. A lot of other like very, unknown stories apparently are in that book. And it's supposed to be very cool. So his is coming out September 29th. Steve Lynch still working on his memoirs, but did make a public statement to me the other day, letting know, because I interviewed him on Nez Says last week, if you guys haven't seen that. He was working on a memoir. He just wants everyone to know that's in the works. And let's see, his new project. Go ahead.
I have a question for you about Steve.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Loud and Clear video. Remember the Loud and Clear video?
Yes.
At the beginning of the Loud and Clear video,
you see with Ozzy and
Vince Neil.
Vince Neil, yes.
And Vince Neil, they come in and they sit down. I always thought, because remember at this time, this was between the period where Ozzy and Sharon were screwing Jakey Lee, and before they had snagged Zakk Wylde as the guitar player. I always thought Ozzy had designs on Steve Lynch. In that video, if you watch that video, you watch the way Ozzy is in that video, you can almost see like that guy seeing a puppy in the window that he wants. I always thought that Ozzy wanted to poach Steve Lynch from Autograph in 1987.
Not that Steve mentioned.
Yeah, I just always thought that would be. I wonder if that would be in the book. Because I bet that period of time when they were all hanging out together. I mean, Autograph had 15 minutes. It was a quick 15 minutes. Obviously, Turn Up the Radio is still on the radio all these years later.
Greatest hard rock songs of all time, literally.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, it's a one-hit wonder, but it's one of the great ones. You know what I mean? It was what it was. That was getting played on pop radio in 1984. That's how big that song was.
It was on Miami Vice. It was
it was everywhere. It was a massive
movies all over the place.
Yeah, it was a massive, massive record at that time. Obviously, having a guitar hero, a guy that could play as well as Steve Lynch could play. And again, he's one of those guys that's under the radar. Those who know, but not a household name. Undeservedly so. He should be bigger than he is.
Very much so.
But I just remember seeing that video going and talking to the guitar players in our band at the time, looking at them and going, Ozzy wants that guy. And they're like, what? I'm like, you can tell by the way he's looking at him in this video that he's like, this guy would be a good guy to replace Jakey Lee. And I always was waiting for, autographed guitar player Steve Lynch leaves band to join Ozzy Osbourne. I was always waiting for that announcement and it never came.
No, but he was, I believe, while he wasn't pinched for Ozzy, he was in the running for Kiss as one of the candidates for to replace Mark St. John.
Sure.
When Mark St. John had a hand injury, Paul requested that he join, and he basically he thought about it, but he didn't, and Paul was kind of pissed about that. We do it all for the fans here. I don't know what Autograph is doing, but we have such a touring schedule with Kiss, and we have fans everywhere. We got fans in America. We got fans in Japan. We got Australia. We got New Zealand, everybody. We got fans all over the world. I don't know what you're doing with Autograph. Your record company's not even behind you. You could join Kiss right now.
Interestingly.
But he decided to stay with Autograph because he, again, be a hired gun or be an equal partner in your own band.
There's an argument
breaking out.
There's a legitimate argument to be made that Turn Up the Radio is the Rock and Roll All Night of the 80s. Rock and Roll All Night was its thing in the 70s on the radio. That way, everybody knew Rock and Roll All Night. Didn't care if you liked Kiss, you knew that song. It was a song that was everywhere. Turn Up the Radio. There's an argument that is that song for the 80s.
And you can make that argument because it is one of those call to arms anthems of all of us metal guys. I mean, listen, I remember the first time I heard that song, my buddy basically is like, oh, I got to show you what this car can do. He just got an Olds 442 with, just a blown engine, just terrific car. And he basically went down this road. We knew it was a one-way road, straight line. It's that road in your town that you could speed to the fucking hills. And he puts in Turn Up the Radio, and just cranks the thing, like almost rips the knob off the radio, and it's just doom, 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 doom.
Now, question. Question.
Yeah,
did you have that out?
Go ahead.
Did your Sign In Please? And by the way, I've got something for you. I think we've talked about this before. The fact that Sign In Please and Aerosmith Just Push Play are the same artist, the same series from the album cover. If you want to pull those up, Johnny Beane, look for Just Push Play from Aerosmith and Sign In Please from Autograph.
They are
same artist. They're the same artist, same series.
Here's the thing. They're copying the Japanese artist. I forget the name, but they got a cease and desist, and they had to pay a settlement to use that artwork after it came out. Of like, I think he said they paid $25,000 for that Metal Woman artist logo thing because it was just too close. It was obviously copying.
Did you have Sign In Please on cassette or CD first?
Yes. I had it on cassette first.
Did your version of Sign In Please have the extended keyboard intro? Because mine didn't.
Oh boy.
Mine just started with the
Oh no. Mine
turn it up. It didn't have
Oh, mine had the full.
Yeah, the first pressings, I think, of Sign In Please didn't have the extended keyboard part that went for like 16 measures at the beginning.
Mine did on both because I would notice that because that was a real favorite song of mine. It still is.
I might still have the cassette somewhere. If I do, I'll find it and send you a copy of that version of the song. I'll send you an MP3 of it, or maybe we'll put it in the Discord.
That's rare. The only time I saw songs like that cut down were when they were in those, all metal music compilation. Your favorite metal. They cut off a little of the beginning and cut off a little, faded into the ending. They cut off, because I had a few of those cassettes. But I might still have it. My copies, both of my copies, both my CD and my early cassette had the full intro into that first song.
Yeah, those compilations, they usually had the single version, the single edits.
And by the way, there's no better music to speed to than to that song. Not that I'm inviting you to go out and kill people in your car, but I mean, my buddy and I in that car in that old 442, he brought it up to 140 miles an hour before, it's like, okay, now it's time to slow down,
Yeah, that's when you get frightened. Like when you get on my little brother had a Honda Interceptor motorcycle when we were kids. And I remember getting on that and going, okay, if I can get on, like I ride Harleys, and Harleys do just over 100 miles an hour unless you've got a V-Rod. It'll do over 100 miles. It's an 800-pound motorcycle. You get up over 100 miles an hour.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Paulie. Hold on. Hello? Oh, hey, Halford. How are you? Oh, no. V-Rod, it's a part of a motorcycle. Yeah, no, I'll call you when we're off the air. I'm sorry.
He actually used one for a while on stage.
Yeah. Okay. Don't call me that on the air. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Sorry.
Yeah, but Harleys don't go that fast. Those Japanese sport bikes, those things will do 200 miles an hour. You get up over 110 on a motorcycle laying forward. Fuck that. Never a good idea. I remember and you talk about that old 442, that same little brother, younger brother, had a 1976 Chrysler Cordoba with a 400 under the hood. And I remember being on the Mass Turnpike one night and the speedometer buried at 120. We were well past that. And I remember looking at him and going, okay, that's enough. And we took our foot off the gas. We're like, I don't need to go any faster than that.
Let's see.
So I totally get that. I totally get that. And of course, I think we might have had, ironically enough, Free Will Burning on the stereo, on the Kraco stereo in the dash.
No, there's certain songs that just get your blood pumping, and Turn Up the Radio is absolutely one of them. Just that initial keyboard just gives you a chill. And then that driving bass end. And then it's like, whoa, you're just like, you're into that. It's just, and when he says turn it up and then the volume raises, it's like, fuck yeah, turn it up. You bet. Yeah, so that's one of those. What? I was expecting something better than that. John, turn it down. Turn it down. Oh, why is it so loud? John,
why do you have to listen? You're going to damage your hearing.
Your father's not happy. Your father's not happy. You keep turning up your radio. If I had a nickel for every time my father said, "Turn that shit down,"
it's funny. I don't think I've listened to any of them in easily 15 years, maybe 20 years. But the first three autograph records.
I heard that song at Whole Foods last time I heard it.
Turn up the radio.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Is that
how it's over?
Our life. We're not. It's in the elevator music. It's like girls, girls, girls. And something is like, oh man, remember these old guys? It's like, oh man.
Well, Whole Foods actually, they have like 80's. Like, I don't know who does their music, but they do like, I'll go there on a Sunday night and it'll be like 80's music or 60's music. It's always the same like genre,
So Johnny's like shopping for heads of cabbage and kill, fuck, die. Oh, wasp. Oh god.
Yeah,
oh
you fucking God. Suck. I love that
like a beast. Thank you, shoppers. Veal is on sale in aisle 7. Aisle 7 shop on delicious veal. Have a veal.
Ball crusher. Ball crusher. Speaking of ball crushers, we have lovely matzo balls in our ethnic section. If you'd like to go get those. Yeah.
Speaking of fuck like a beast shoppers, roast beast is on sale tonight. Yeah, I was always, it's funny. I shut my door in my bedroom, and yet the house rattled the windows with how loud I would play my stereo. Because it's metal. You got to, you play it loud. Yeah, My dad, I don't know, no matter what, he would, even if he wasn't home, when he came home, like he couldn't just walk up and say, "Hey, we're home now. Could you please, turn the volume down?" He would come in like a hurricane and like just throw something at the stereo like a phone book. You remember those? It's like suddenly the Yellow Pages like knocks out my cassette player, and
I remember I got a Yellow Pages like a year ago here in Arizona. I was like, "What the fuck is that at the end of my driveway? Who still does a Yellow Pages?
Kindlin.
What the hell?" Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was throw that on the pile of cardboard outside Mancuta's mother's.
I was about to say, my mom was like, "Did you guys take out all these old phone books? I've been saving them since the 70s. They have the Norman Rockwell covers on them. And this was when we were still listed in our old house."
I put them right next to the big pile of the Saturday Evening Post.
Let's see. Kellowitz. Oh, here's Susan Kellowitz. Oh no, there's 16 of them. Which is your friend's mother's name? Which is
S. Kellowitz? S. Kellowitz. Sadie Kellowitz? Shauna Kellowitz?
Sylvia Kellowitz? Sheila Kellowitz?
So Shoshana Kellowitz?
Oh no.
That's her granddaughter.
She's a nice girl. And she's single, John.
John, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Shoshana Kellowitz.
This is her daughter. She's 13 years younger than you. Mom, she's a child, but when she grows up, she's going to be very beautiful. Jesus Christ. Welcome to my world. So there I was in Whole Foods, and I heard that song you like by, what's that kid? Little Stevie Vai. That's him. Yeah.
Little Stevie Vai.
is going to play a You know what's funny? That's a song my mother really likes. My mother likes that song because she always thought it was cute. She's, you know, she would say, why don't you put on that song with little Stevie Vai? And you know who my mother had a crush on was Sebastian Bach.
Well, of course. Because he was on the Golden Girls. Because he was a guest star in the Golden Girls. That's why. Sebastian, you know, credit Sebastian Bach for being smart. He knew, you know what? I need to market myself bigger. I need to go bigger. Between the Golden Girls and Broadway and Trailer Park Boys, he has done a very, very good job of keeping himself somewhat in the limelight, considering Sebastian Bach is more famous than Skid Row today. Still.
That would be really funny if like he really expanded into sitcoms over the years. So it's like, let's see who's at the door, Theo. Oh, Sebastian, what are you doing here? Hey, man,
mother truckers!
Hey, man. Well, this works out better than last week when Amir Rock delivered a pizza to Rudy.
I said, who is the man at the door? You have the worst name in rock history. Amir the Rock. That's fucking stupid. That's how bad your name is. You just made Dr. Huxtable swear.
I don't want you to rock anywhere near my kids.
You have to take what you want and get the fuck out.
There's medicinal things in the second cabinet. Don't take those little ones. I need those.
The happy pills they're for the long-haired guy from Canada that showed up who I think might be able to give me some. Wow. He likes the pudding pop.
The youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk with a smile. We are gone wild.
Rudy was a young girl. She was too young for me at the time. Wow.
Maybe you might learn something, okay?
Before you're through.
Before we're through. I might be charged with rape before we're through.
We're through. And my eye might go wonky at some point.
No, you're gonna rape women. Don't do it, Bill.
Oh my gosh.
I probably should have listened to Fat Albert when he said do that.
See, this is the difference between did I say
anything funny and anything not funny? Yeah.
No, this is the difference between like Rob Halford and Sharon Osbourne and stuff. We do that in jest and in love, but fuck Bill Cosby. You're a rapist. You're a rapist. You're a rapist and a rapist, and you're a rapist.
I still love Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. I don't hold that against him, but and I love his old comedy records. But dude, I hope you're getting like in a blanket party of beaten up in prison right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really right here I am.
What I want Clancy Brown and Esai Morales with 2 pillowcases full of fucking soda cans. Fucking going to town on his cerebellum.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Bill Cosby. You're an asshole.
Yeah, I hope there's a sock full of master locks hitting you in the head right now.
Yeah, fuck you, you jerk.
Yeah, so we're gonna make fun of Bill Cosby.
Yeah, and not in a nice way.
With no love. Yeah, with no love.
That's the thing. Is
Halford, I'd kiss that man right now. But
yeah, no, there's a difference between like the target of ridicule. Like if we're gonna get dark and bad on shit, it's got to be like. Here's the thing. Rob Halford has done nothing wrong. Sharon Osbourne's a bitch, but she's really not a bad human being. She's just a bitch. Right. And she's done bad business decisions. Bill Cosby's a rapist. Fuck that guy. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, look at him. He's with the Bart Simpson shirt. No way, dude.
Bill, you are like school on a Saturday.
No class.
Why am I like school on a Saturday? Because you're not getting out of prison, motherfucker.
I don't think that's how the joke goes, but I've updated it for the kids today because it's a different time, don't you know?
I stay in my cell for safety so they don't beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, that should be,
They don't make my face look like pudding.
I love how all of those scumbags, when they get caught being the scumbags that they are, guys like Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, who I know John won't say anything bad about because he still might cast him in a show.
No, I'd say shit about Harvey Weinstein. Let me tell you something. I still take the moral stance of if you rape, you should drop dead.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, that's a very, very fucking
there they are.
There's a controversial stance right there.
2 cock-sucking rapists right there. Speaking of which, Bang energy drink. Now, John. Both of these
this is a sandwich. Horrible. I didn't order this sandwich. I wanted the veal palm, not
Mrs. Mancuda. I will take down your box. I will open up.
I would like to butter your biscuit.
Gosh.
I will open up your trunk.
Would you like pickles on that?
I will tenderize your veal.
Pound your meat.
Oh, John, I don't know.
But those two guys, it's amazing. As soon as somebody gets charged with a crime against society in some way, shape, or form, I think they should be going to the Goodwill and they buy the walker with the tennis balls on it. Like every one of those motherfuckers is infirm. The minute they get charged with something, they come up in court like, I'm blind. I'm blind. How could you possibly convict me?
Cosby was jogging the day before he was convicted. He's running around 17 miles. I hope I can get all 30 in.
But the day you're there for their pretrial hearing, they're like, they roll up in a fucking.
What was that, Your Honor? I have dementia, in and out. It's been faded, and my memory loss as well. And where are you, Your Honor? Is that you God calling me back?
All of a sudden, fucking Bill Cosby is Captain Pike. Just shows up in court. Beep. I would like to talk to you about my pudding.
Inside the mind
of I'm thinking there's at least 11 women in here I could rape.
There's 24 women I totally don't want to talk about, Your Honor.
Asshole.
Yeah, you know what's good, and I really like this. I hate to sound cruel, but I'm going to sound cruel. I love that even when you're in prison, the murderers and everything, they have no tolerance for that shit.
No honor among thieves. There's a weird code of justice.
There is a level of it. It's only one step below pedophilia. It's just like pedophilia, you're dead in prison. They'll get you. They'll get you good, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But you know what? Rape, they're not fans of that because they all have mothers and sisters and wives and shit that's like, you just as well could have slipped something in my sister drink, you motherfucker. Let me tell you about Junior Barnes and the orange soda. No, we don't want to hear that shit, man. We want to beat you up.
No, there is a, that's why a lot of those guys don't get put into with the general population. They all get put into protective custody or isolation and stuff like that. Because there is that code, and I don't know. I've never been behind the walls, but I know some people who have. And they absolutely, the guards just kind of go, see no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah, because they don't give a shit. It's like,
they don't care. Let it handle it. That's just one less fucking aggravation they've got to deal with. Let them get their aggressions out in the yard.
Yeah, here's your room, Mr. Cosby, and who's my cellmate? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure some people will be along. Don't close the door behind me. Yeah, sometimes we do that. My shift ends right now. I'll be relieved in about an hour. So just do whatever you all want with.
I'll just leave the door open here. Well, I've got a toilet here in my cell. No, you can just go ahead. Wander free. This is a very loose. Look at him. Look at that. Now all of a sudden,
am I supposed to be in Gen Pop?
I like how he's got David
in Pudding Pop.
Have you noticed that Bill Cosby now has David Bowie eyes?
Yeah, right now with all the fists going up his ass, he probably has eyes on springs.
Scumbag. I know we're taking a very I know we're taking a very anti-rape position tonight, which is a very controversial stance.
Oh, we are anti-rape.
We would just like to say that the Mancuda Neanderthal ticket, if you want to vote,
hey, we're on independent
down.
party. Yeah, independent party. Oh, please, I'm embarrassed to this show. Sorry,
this is the worst show we've ever done.
This definitely brings the quality down even lower than I've ever aspired to. So thank you.
We only have 40 thumbs down. We got to work harder on that.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the original statement, we're ripping on a guy who deserves to be ripped on. And we're almost out of time. We should get the guitar in.
Yeah. Well, we have a half hour, so it is time for show and tell. Show and tell the guitar. Get off Cosby.
Yeah, I think it's enough. We've given Cosby more airtime than he deserves. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Speaking of Jesus rapes me. Okay, so I gave the clue of tonight's show and tell guitar. Just for the shit of it, I should pull out a drum because it's such a backward show tonight with thumbs down.
It should be a bass tonight.
Beginning. Yeah, it should be, but it's not. It is a guitar. Let's give them something of quality today. If the show sucks, we might as well give them something of quality. The clue I gave for tonight's show and tell guitar was that it'll give you gas. So if anyone wants,
is it Craig Gass's guitar?
No, it is not. But that's not a good. That's a good gas.
Gas.
What a gas that Mancuda is.
Stop.
Anyway, I'll just get right to it. Because you're not gonna get this. Once I show the guitar, you will. Johnny, if you please. Look at that thing.
Oh, it has chevrons on it. I see what you did there.
Yeah, so this is a San Dimas Charvel Pre-Pro, which I've discussed on the show, some of the best fucking guitars ever made. This is right about 1981. No serial number, real pre-pro, chevron design. This was when guitars had all the cool basic designs, the bullseye, the hot rod flames, the stripes, the chevron. Get it? Gas, chevron. Look at this fucking thing. These necks are unbelievable. Ask Warren DeMartini. He obviously swears by them. Broken in maple. Look at these dirty. Look at that dirty maple board. I play this thing to death.
Dirty maple board.
Dirty. Oh, you dirty thing.
This
is a beautiful matching redhead. I love that.
Giggity.
How can you hear? How cool is that? And again, the typical skunk stripe, helping to identify that it's a real San Dimas Charvel. The crown head tuners. Look at those bad boys. And again, I've pointed out the Charvel's 12th fret marker are really close together. You notice they're closer together than a lot of the standard fret markers that are spaced further apart. That's another dead giveaway. But once you get a hold of it, the feel of these necks, they're a flat D shape usually. They're, again, just masterful to play. Beautiful body, real nice. This is the original Super Strat. This is Wayne Charvel and Grover Jackson putting these together. And of course, it's really Grover Jackson at that time, but Wayne came up with the idea of making super strats, really, taking them, hot rodding the death out of something like a Fender Strat body and taken over by Grover Jackson right about that time. And if you look at this thing, an X2N pickup, which I love these things, very, very hot pickup. Brass knob, which it was at one time, I believe, a black knob that wore down to the bare metal. Look at that thing. And look at the bridge. They had a couple of early bridges in these early pre-pro San Dimas Charvels. This is what's called a keyhole bridge because of the shape of that. You can see originally it must have been black and, worn down from play wear. This one's, pretty clean as far as, scuff wise and everything, which is real cool. Brass plate, blank brass plate. They usually add either a brass plate like this or a black plate, which had straight silver metal under it, and the black would wear off. You've seen me bring these on the show before, and they just wore that black part off the metal. So you almost saw like half silver, half black. The brass ones stay pretty clean. You polish them. Strap locks, also these classic Charvel brass strap locks. And this has the, I forgot the name of the material, phalanx or whatever, the nut made out of circuit board. If you look close, it's the same material as a circuit board. It's that high kind of plasticky kind of thing. And a little black string guide on the headstock. Small Charvel logo, the original guitar logo. These things are a dream to play. And I love the chevron design. Again, I love the classic designs, the candy stripes, the chevron, the bullseye, the hot rod flames. I love those early graphics. Before we got into the late 80s, they kind of stayed to a general type of, okay, you got stripes, you got circles, and then Kramer started doing some stuff and BC Rich started doing some stuff. But early on, these were the type of graphics that, like you saw in like, bands like, Rat or Twisted Sister, or like a lot of the early bands, Blitzkrieg.
Well, I think it was a great example.
Yes.
It was a great example of trying to do an Eddie Van Halen style design without doing Eddie Van Halen. I mean, let's face it, Eddie was the first guy that had a very wild looking guitar. Before Eddie Van Halen, everybody had, Les Paul or a Strat, and it was a different color, right, or you took the pick guard off. That was the most wild thing anybody had ever seen. When Eddie started striping his guitars, everybody was like, well, that's Eddie's thing. We need to come up with something that is appealing without seeming like we're ripping something off. You know what I mean?
Well, keep in mind,
yet another thing that Eddie Van Halen brought to the guitar world, which was the crazy graphic design on a guitar.
But also remember, Charvel is where he did it.
Right, exactly.
That those boogie bodies and
right, sure.
And, I mean that was Charvel, and he got those from Grover Jackson. And right. The thing about it is, at one point, Eddie walked into Charvel and sees these racks of black and yellow and red and white, or no, at the time black and yellow, and I guess white and black. With the originals, and he says, wow, these are great, look at these. And he's like, and how much do I get out of each of these? And Grover's like, you're not getting any money from these. And he's like, excuse me?
Yeah,
my designs. And so he basically did a big stink and broke off from Charvel, broke off with Grover Jackson because of that stripe incident, because he said,
by the way,
guitars mimicking mine.
So, by the way, which several years later became a huge issue on the internet when Eddie finally got a trademark assigned to him, a service mark assigned to that design being part of his own trademark. He spent a lot of time and a lot of money shutting down people who were striping up sneakers, because little did we know he was going to put out his own line of striped sneakers and clothing. And all of those guitars, you'll still get in trouble, because now Fender's got lawyers on the case. If somebody tries to make a replica Van Halen guitar, that's why it's all done sort of word of mouth now instead of up on eBay. Remember back in the day on eBay, you could type in Van Halen Frankenstrat replica, and everybody and their brother was making them. You just got
selling the bodies and
sure. And the paint job, you could make a lot of money doing the paint job. Now, if you want to get somebody to do that for you, it's got to be done sort of word of mouth, under the radar. And if you're thinking about getting that done, I know somebody in upstate New York named Craig Stuvko who's very, very good at it.
I've heard that about Craig.
Yeah, CHS Custom Guitars will paint anything you want. I'm not saying that you should be
your pecker up.
I'm not saying that you should be violating anybody's established trademark. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, you might as well have somebody do it right.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why, but Eddie eventually, that trademark, that stripe thing has been very lucrative to him. So he was smart, even from the get-go, to understand that there was money in that design. And why is Grover going to get the money instead of I am?
Yeah, and let's also point out 21 fret neck. This is what they originally came with. Yep. 21 fret. They
just like a Strat.
Yeah, they brought it to 22 frets a little bit later. And also, I should point out, original Strat headstock. At one time, they got a cease and desist from Fender in 1983. Then the pointy design came out. That's why they started doing pointy headstocks, was because Fender said, no more of that. We see you're doing well. No more of those on your guitar. Yep.
Kramer got it too. Kramer got the C&D and everything. It's weird. All of these companies go through periods. I mean, you look at the period of ESP was doing it. Charvel was doing it. Kramer was doing it. Obviously, Tokai was doing it over in Japan. I don't know when Fender realized that headstock shape was something that was going to be something they wanted to plant their flag on. But in the end, we all know it. We all know it's the Strat headstock shape. Just like you hear people say Xerox is now the sort of catch-all for copying something. You got to Xerox it.
Yeah, Band-Aid or
yeah. So that Strat headstock, we all know what it is. The Strat body shape, we all know what it is. Nobody says double cutaway anymore. They say Strat style. It's either a Strat style or a Les Paul style. That's it. Everything else is a variation off of those. Or you'll hear Explorer style or whatever it is now. But they realize that those shapes are almost as important as the name on the headstock. You don't even have to put the name on headstock. If somebody didn't see that guitar before, who knows very little about guitars, they would look at that and go, "Oh, that's a Strat."
Yeah, because keep in mind, when the decade turned into the 80s, that's when you started seeing this and a Kramer with these Strat body headstocks. Basically, like you said, it looks like a Strat. So they're seeing this is the new popular, let's play it for the new musical generation. And they're like, wait a minute. Why aren't you using Fender Strats? Well, this has a humbucker and it's got a, in some cases it's got a whammy bar and it's got like all these things that like are souped up from a Strat. I mean, that's what Charvel was a company that started hot rodding Strats and making the super Strat, for guys like Eddie and stuff like that. So when Fender started seeing it become popular, they're like, we can't not get a piece of that. We got to cease and desist. And they did. Enter the pointy headstock. Yeah. But these, I love these things. The pre-pros and the early Sandema Charvels, they have a feel that I'm madly, madly in love with. And again, they're treasured by collectors. There's only about 700 and something real pre-pros. There's a lot of fakes out there because people like, let's just paint up a body and we'll put a neck on it with and we'll put a Charvel logo on it. And a lot of people were copying them because they were going for a lot of money at one point. But then people started realizing, wait a minute, there's certain codes in the neck pocket and at the heel of the neck that can be identified, certain handwriting, certain initials, certain number codes that can be deciphered to, hey, this is real or this is a knockoff. And same thing with, the spacing on the 12th fret, down here, the spacing on the 12th fret, the skunk stripe on the neck that was very distinct, and other features.
Yeah, and now that's a big deal with fake Les Pauls, fake Ernie Ball Music Mans, fake, any guitar that becomes very popular. Obviously, there's a Chinese knockoff of it or a an import version that somebody is making to try and scam people out of money. But it gets down to the
Gibsons have gotten so good,
really
so
good,
accurate.
Well, that's because they're made in the Epiphone factory. I mean, some of those guys, it's like anything else. When the factory shuts down for the day, there's another 100 guitars that run off when you've got, mass production,
sure.
Another 100 guitars get run off the line. And then they take, look, it's not that much. There's not that much. You add 2 wings to the headstock of an Epiphone and it looks almost exactly like a Gibson. And they're cut to almost exact Gibson specs as far as the body shape and everything. That lower bout horn is cut exactly like the American. There are certain differences that you can find that we don't talk about publicly because why give the counterfeiters an opportunity to make a better beast? But they're getting very, very good. And there are little things like codes, like spacing of fingerboards and markings and stuff like that, where you just go, all right, there are things that are still going to discern, and the discerning eye will know. And those that are in the know, that, like, if I were going to buy an alleged American-made Charvel, I would certainly check with John and or other people I know that are more knowledgeable about Charvels than I, just as I know friends that have called me about Les Pauls and said, hey, is this real? And I would tell them, yeah, there are certain things that you know and what you don't. I've helped verify guitars with some friends that own music shops. My friend Dane.
Here.
Yeah, you do that. And that, because if you're going to spend the kind of money that they're going to want for that guitar, you better be getting the real thing instead of a piece of plywood with a cheap Chinese neck on it. And they took a decal. You know, you can get a slide decal, water slide decal, and slap it on any Squire neck, you know, and try to call it a Charvel.
Yeah, and at some point, the pre-pros are faked more than others because A, they're the most expensive, and B, again, there's no serial number to play with. I mean, sure, there are code numbers that are inside there that, guys like me know about, but like, as far as a serial number, they started plating these in 82 with various serial numbers, and you can identify, keep track, and look at build records, and okay, these are a little harder to identify. So yeah, you should go to someone like me or a lot of other guys in the hobby that know these things. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned it, the X2N is one of my favorite pickups. I love the tone of those. Very hot, very, very, very crisp. I love it.
I would like to point out to Yostinator, who points out that Gibson owns and manages their Chinese factory. Yeah, there's still corruption. That doesn't matter. Just because you own something doesn't mean that they're on. Yeah, every company has shit that goes out the back door.
Sure.
And by the way, Gibson owns and manages their own Chinese factory. They also still farm out production for Les Pauls in other countries and in other factories. They don't own every factory that they produce guitars in. I got bad news for you. Every American guitar manufacturer has a factory in Asia that they don't own, that they farm out. Check out WIMC, World Music Instrument Company. They make guitars for half a dozen different American manufacturers that you'll say, oh, it's made in their factory over in Korea, or it's made in their factory in China. No, it's not. It's farmed out to a third-party factory. Just like you've got official service technicians that can do officially licensed work on a car, but that doesn't mean that they're doing it at a Ford dealership or a Chevy dealership. It's just somebody who's certified to make to that spec or to work to that standard. Same thing happens in the guitar industry. They have companies making Asian import guitars that they don't own. They still do it. They still farm it out. They're not going to tell you that, because if you believe that every guitar that's made by Epiphone is made in the Gibson factory, you'll pay $500 for that instead of paying $299 for a Samick.
Yeah, for sure.
Same guitar.
So let's move on to music news. We got 12 minutes to go in the show. We got to cut at 8 o'clock tonight. So I'm just going to belt these stories out, just a couple of them. Let's see. The girls from Phantom Blue, Gigi Hadid and Nicole Couch, have both gotten separate deals for solo records. Gigi was the vocalist of Phantom Blue. Nicole was one of the two guitarists, the other one being Michelle Meldrum, who passed away years ago, unfortunately. But they both have deals recently for solo albums. They are going into recording studios in the next few months, and it should be very good. It should be very good. If you guys are fans of Phantom Blue, a lot of people don't know Nicole can sing. So she's going to do some singing on her album. Gigi, of course, is a singer. I'm not sure who's doing guitar yet on her album. She also probably isn't sure yet. And I believe there's a rumor they may be doing a duet on Nicole's album. So kind of really neat. And Linda from Phantom Blue will be doing some drum tracks on Gigi's album. But if you're a fan of Phantom Blue, there are two albums, not in production yet, but about to go into production, into recording, that you now have something to look forward to. Hello?
Oh no, I'm there. I'm answering a chat thing.
Oh, okay.
I was just answering somebody in the chat while you were telling us. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to Phantom Blue.
Okay, well they had two good albums in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then, Michelle Meldrum, unfortunately, the other guitarist, passed away. She was married to John Norum of Europe.
Yep. I remember Phantom Blue. I think I might even have like a promo shot of them somewhere. Them and Precious Metal.
Precious Metal was another all-girl band.
Yeah.
These guys were very hard. They were. I really liked their stuff. They had a very hard edge.
And again, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they predated Vixen.
I think they were
right around the same time.
They were around the same time. I'm not sure really who came first or who came together first and who broke out first. But again, there were certain girl bands in the 80s that were very, very good with real playing and good singing.
School.
Yeah, Vixen was one of them.
Girl School, ugly as fuck, but damn, they were good.
Well, Phantom Blue were beautiful. Vixen
was 7 years earlier.
As far as getting together or getting signed?
You're not getting signed. I think they came out around the same time.
It says Vixen formed in 1980, Phantom Blue formed in 87.
Wow.
Yeah, but Vixen formed in 80, but didn't do anything until
87 maybe?
They had success right around the time Phantom Blue was forming.
That's my point. That's like saying, bands slog it out for 10 years before they actually make it, and that's great. Phantom Blue, maybe their timing was a little bit better, but yeah, I think that mass awareness of these bands was right around the same time. I mean, if you want to talk about bands that came long before that, we can talk about Girl School and Rock Goddess and Lee Aaron and Headpins, and there's a whole bunch of other, girl bands that may have paved the way. I mean, the Runaways weren't the first all-girl band either.
No, by far.
But same idea. I think, again, I was doing college radio at that time in 86. So I got both the Vixen and Phantom Blue records right around the same month. You know what I mean? We got them all at the same time before, they used to work that stuff to college radio before it would go to commercial radio.
Mm-hmm.
So my awareness of both bands, if you're sitting in Boston, Massachusetts, and you get a record comes through, it gets mailed to you, you don't know that band's been together for 10 years before the album comes out. You have no clue.
And one song that's confirmed on Nicole Couch's album is a cover of Manic Eden, Do Angels Die, which was Adrian Vandenberg's song. A beautiful song. So that's going to be coming out on that album.
The answer is yes, they do die.
Apparently so. Anals. Was it Anals? Angels. Right. Got it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no.
Let's see.
Remember, Farrah Fawcett died, but her entire death was overshadowed by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
So
let's see. Steel Panther in the news this week.
Steve Carmichael, Steel
Panther. Steel Panther, a channel member, friend of the show. Steel Panther will record a custom version of one of their hit songs for you with some modified lyrics, up to 2 lines of lyrics changed around or names inserted, or making a song about someone, like for their birthday or anniversary or something like that, for the mere price of $7,500. You will get a studio recording of Steel Panther doing their song. So if you like the song There She Blows and you want it changed to
There She Blows.
Yeah, no, you want to change to say for someone special to you, Michelle, there she blows, or something like that, or Michelle was sucking cock so many times, or something like that. They'll do that for you for $7,500. I think that's a pretty cool gift if you've got the gelt.
The gelt.
If you've got the gelt.
You got the gelt. I would like to talk to you about the gelt, which sounds like something I would say if I were Yiddish.
These are Swiss picks. I don't have them in jail, but I sure wish I do, because I love things with little holes.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So let's see. So that's Phantom Blue, Steel Panther. And finally in the news tonight, Anthrax. Doing Anthrax.
I fucking love Anthrax.
We all do. Doing all sorts of of fun merchandising. First of all, they're coming out with an anniversary reissue of Persistence of Time. So that's the 1990 album. They're doing an anniversary reissue of it. That's already, really cool. And I love to see anniversary albums and stuff. But
I like it when as long as they're going to re-release, they're going to release some unreleased music. Like, I don't want to hear an unfinished mix of, Got the Time. I'd love to hear another song they recorded. Like Anthrax is
or live version.
Yeah, Anthrax has always been very good about B-sides and songs that they recorded during the sessions and stuff like that. I think when they re-release a record would like there's a lot of those records coming out now that are like 6-disc, so and so, like the Whitesnake Slide It In thing. I didn't need 15 different mixes or radio edits of the song Slide It In and Slow It Easy. Give me some of the other stuff that comes with that you recorded during those sessions. Otherwise, it's a huge cash grab.
Yeah, so we're not sure exactly, but let's see. I'm not sure exactly of the tracks that they are including in there, or what bonus tracks, or I don't have a track listing. So I'm hoping they do it like they have done other things with that type of, like you said, B-sides, extra, a live track, some bonus, something rather than just, we printed it again. I'm hoping. It's an anniversary version, so it deserves it.
It would be nice to see Anthrax get the kind of recognition that they deserve as the East Coast Metallica, because it's interesting. You got that new Mustaine book that's out talking about
everyone,
Rust in Peace. No, but the Rust in Peace record always gets like Megadeth gets all these props as being a fantastic band. Slayer gets all these props, but for whatever reason in the Big Four, Anthrax gets sort of bumped to the side, and even gets less recognition than a band like Testament or Exodus or Overkill for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of lineup instability. I'm not quite sure, but Anthrax are a supreme fucking band and deserve to be mentioned alongside of Metallica and Megadeth. I mean, I would put Anthrax right under Metallica as far as the Big Four thrash bands.
I would still have Megadeth as second, but Anthrax and Slayer would battle for third in my eyes. They're terrific live. Really terrific live. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, thrash metal. Got the Time was a Joe Jackson song.
They also have coming out, this is the other two things they're coming out with, a limited edition bourbon named The Healer. That's kind of fun, following Metallica in the whiskey line.
Well, and remember, all credit to Jesse James Dupree. He was the first guy to jump on the whiskey train. Did a great job with Jesse James Outlaw Bourbon. He was really, his bourbon is bigger than his band.
Nice.
No, it is. I mean, that's the truth. It's fucking outstanding. If you want a good sipping bourbon, Jesse James Outlaw Bourbon.
Nothing goes good with Colonel's popcorn like Jesse's sipping bourbon or Anthrax's The Healer bourbon.
Maybe.
So you want to check that out. And finally, Anthrax is selling, get this, their album Spreading the Disease from 1985. There's a modified version of Anthrax hand sanitizer called Stop Spreading the Disease with the same a modified graphic of the album cover, basically, and it's Anthrax is putting out their own version for the pandemic of hand sanitizer, which is kind of fun. So look for that in a store near you, or probably on their website more so. And again, we have to end at 8:00 sharp, which is just about now. But we want to say thank you for enjoying this bizarre, weird, backwards episode of Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. There it is. There's the Anthrax. There it is. Look at that.
Love that, man.
Stop the Disease. I just love that. Yeah, I'm sure you could get it on their website or maybe Amazon as well. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you for enjoying today's very backwards episode. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter, whatever you prefer today. Of course, normally leave thumbs up, but today we're 50-50.
Who cares? Just react.
Yeah, just do something.
If you can't move the needle, what good are you?
Just do something. Anyway, just remember.
Said Kurt Cobain.
That's good. Thanks, Mom. Well, I didn't like the show at all.
That joke fell flat.
Yeah, you were talking about Cosby, and then you were talking about my veal. They're not going to deliver my pizzas now, John. John,
Why
just
do I have 24 toes?
This is terrible. Just read the channel members, John.
I have 3 times as many toes as my husband.
Why am I in such a slutty short skirt, John? I don't dress
and
like
my breasts don't sag that much, do
they?
they
Certainly don't. Feel that. That's firm.
Thank
you. Thank you, channel members. Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, I'm Jewish, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Bolin, Richard Poole, Lenny Lou and Mary. I don't know how you tolerate this show, Lenny Lou and Mary.
Stop already.
It's terrible. Crazy Cook 678.
Crazy. Somebody give me some strychnine.
Bozique, Julia Bald Ass Sari.
Will you shut the fuck up?
False Flag. Margaret Scranton, so many women. Why are they listening to this smut? Sean Silas and Gare Goots Entertainment. I don't know any movies they made. Also, thank you.
There's another page.
John, why do these people pay money to be these channel members?
I need morphine for crying
There's a lot better things to do with your money than be a channel member. Thank you, channel members. Hal Face, James Gum, Mancuda. Oh my God! I'm not reading that.
Oh, it's time.
I'll get that one. Mom, Mancuda is a dildo fucker. That's terrible. 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr. Is that Bruce?
Why do I have to do this?
Frag 5150. Hal Guitars, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago.
Just do the water thing and then drown me in my own.
Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost
Stop already.
BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas. Oh no, not another rape thing. John, Jesus rapes me, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael. Put a bullet in my head already. I need to get out of here.
Oh, Steve Carmichael. Oh.
Christ, make it stop.
And remember, please wear a mask, wash your hands, be nice to each other. We love and appreciate our audience so much, seriously. So
shut up already.
Be safe out there. I'm gonna stick this pen in my eye.
Take my foot, take her tongue, do something.
This is a terrible show, John. I don't know why people tune in every week.
And yet they do.
I can't figure it out either. But thanks for the thumbs up and thumbs down, everybody.
Yeah. Let's see if we can switch those thumbs downs to the thumbs ups. And
Johnny needs your approval.
Yes. This Thursday, Jay and I are scheduled to appear on the StreamYard Spotlight Show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. So check that out. I'll have a link to it on the community tab. There we go.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you. We love you all. Be safe.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with this nonsense.
Yeah, we won't do this again next week. Not like this.
I bet we will.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It might even
be
worse.
The show. It probably will be worse.
Yep,
choke on. I'm gonna choke on glass. What am I doing here? This is my career.
This is why COVID needs to go away.
I'm gonna go drown myself. But we love you guys. We love you guys.
Get it on camera so Johnny can exploit it for money.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I'm gonna do it for ratings.
All right. Good night. I gotta go. Bye. Johnny Beane TV.
Rock on.